Hello everybody, happy Friday. I hope you're all having a beautiful day today. Hello, welcome. I see that we have Darkless Spectrum, I see that we have Alim, I see that we have Scurblow, as well as many others. Hello, hi, welcome. Hope your Friday has been beautiful. I have had a fairly chill day today, not done a whole lot. Hello, the Kaze 8. Hope you're doing well today as well. That's you, that's right, you specifically, you special. Happy Thanksgiving to anybody that celebrated. Gengar tattoo, that's right. Get a load of this guy, huh? Tickets to the gun show today. Yeah, I was feeling today was a tank top kind of a day, so that's why the arms are exposed. I actually really do enjoy having cutoffs in a kitchen setting because I feel like my sleeves can oftentimes just like get in the way, especially if we're talking like long sleeves. And I guess like the biggest risk of course is like oil splashing up and burning your arm, but it does give me a lot more mobility, and when a kitchen gets nice and hot, this is very well ventilated. Do I have a license for those? Well, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that, especially on Twitch. I will not implicate myself in anything like that. So that's a beautiful question. You should not ask me. But hello, hi. I am pretty excited for today's stream because I have a lot to talk about today. I have a lot to talk about the importance of what we are making, and I think this is a very necessary thing that we're doing. Also, hello, Big Zach. Good evening to you as well. Everybody, yesterday was Thanksgiving. We had a little small thing at home. I made a bunch of food yesterday. Today is really important, and today I get to show off my favorite concept in cooking, and that is how do you transform something into something else? How do you take it from what it was and then you make it into something special, not better or worse, but something that is different so that you don't have to waste things. The number one mistake that people make is when they cook things that are only good on that day, and A, can't be reheated, or B, can't be transformed into something else. Remember, you're at home. I'm at home. The kind of food we make has to be suited to a home environment. And it just so happens that in my mind, Thanksgiving leftovers are one of the best things that you can transform into something else. And we'll talk into why that is today. You should not have to settle for an inferior quality product by reheating something and then it's going to taste worse than it was yesterday. Some things reheat well, like stews and soups. Other things, like roasted meat, does not. Imagine you had a beautiful steak. Imagine, like I have a turkey carcass behind me. If I were to reheat that as it was, I'm just going to get a very dry and overcooked product no matter what I do. It will never be as good as it was yesterday because they're not suited to be reheated. However, they're in the best possible position to be transformed into something else, to be transformed into something special, and for us to make a beautiful feast anew today. And thus, that's what we'll be doing. Also, hello, Axel. I begun the dry brand for the turkey breast. Exciting. Let me know how that goes. So, we're going to be making a stew today. And I'm going to be essentially using every single leftover that I have yesterday. I have right here a turkey carcass, as well as some legs and some of the wings. I have some of the turkey breast meat. We have some rosemary and thyme right here, my friends. I have this leftover amount of gravy, which is going to go inside. I have some corn and I have some peas that have already been cooked. And I have some cubed squash from the Wednesday stream that I didn't use up that I think would be perfect in this. And so, in one fell swoop, we will effectively be using everything that was on the table yesterday, and we'll be able to make something really nice and special today again. And that is the beauty of cooking like this, right? We don't have to settle for, the same dry, overcooked, reheated leftovers, although my turkey was not dry yesterday. It was perfectly succulent. Thank you very much. I guess we can get started. Let's get started. So, the first step is we're going to make a beautiful turkey stock. This is something that you can do with leftover rotisserie chickens. This is something you can do with any leftover bones that you really have that have been roasted properly. And in this case, I have these roasted turkey bones. Now, we're not going to get as much flavor out of it as if we were to normally, just do the straight bones themselves if they were raw. A lot of the juices and stuff have dissipated, but there's still a lot to extract out of these bones, and we're going to scrape up some meat. I'm not going to debone and demeat the legs and wings because when it's cold, it's too tough for it to slide off the bone. Okay? We're going to get some of the white meat off, but the legs and the wings, they'll go whole into the pressure cooker, and then we'll take the meat out, and then that will go into the stew itself. So we can just get started with that right now. Into my beautiful little pressure cooker pot right here. Okay? We are just going to dump in, this is one leg. We have one leg left over. We have this thigh left over as well. And again, these are the pieces that once we take out, we can just strip the meat off of them really easily. We have this wing. Okay, that's the drum of the wing. I ate the flats yesterday. This is the other drum of the wing. And again, we're keeping the meat intact on it because it's going to be a lot easier to pull off once it does indeed pressure cook. I have this thigh that's been mostly consumed. It's also going to go in. And then we have the rest of the carcass. Right? This is the breastbone of the turkey. We're going to see if we can take a spoon and scrape off some of that white meat. Because the white meat, if we were to put this in a pressure cooker now, as it is, it's just going to fall apart. And we're going to end up wasting a lot of it. It does bring out the gango, doesn't it? Looks quite nice, I think. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to set aside the pot, and I'm going to see, is it possible for us to get some of this meat off? And guess what? It is. Even if it comes off in shreds like this, trust me, it's going to make a nice product later. So I'm going to grab a plate. This is a plate of all the leftover meat from yesterday, and this is all going to go into the stew directly. We just don't want this to cook any more in the pressure cooker than it has to. Okay? Some of the tender from the turkey right over here. Listen, if it shreds, if it falls apart, it'll be fine, no matter what, at the end of the day. There's not that much meat, except on this side. And there's really no way to go about it. I just like doing a spoon for this, because it really lets us get in there, and then we can just kind of peel the whole thing off, right? All in one fell swoop, just like this. And all of that is perfectly good white meat that we would otherwise waste if we were to just cook this whole thing. It would just fall apart into the stock. We wouldn't want that at all. So, strip it off. Oh. Let's get it all out of there. There is no method or madness to it. And again, it's a lot easier to do this if it's warm. This I pulled out of the fridge, and thus a spoon is the tool of choice for something like this. The skin, we don't actually need that much. Oh yeah. And you might be like, oh, that's not that much meat that we're saving through this, but trust me, that's already a few spoonfuls that we'll get. And we're just trying to get as much meat out as possible. Right? We want to retain it. We don't want to waste it. Okay, this is where the thigh once was. I'm gonna have to take a little look at that in just a second. I just still have some more breast meat that's nice and viable for the picking. And you can hear the scraping against the bone. That tells us that we've gotten rid of as much of it as we could. Some more meat over here that we separated from the skin. Okay, now let's take a look. This is essentially devoid of meat. This is just along the breastplate itself. It's a little difficult to take off here. Let me see, is there anything that we can get off the thigh? I don't think there's gonna be that much. Actually, I lied. That's an entire pocket of meat right there. Off it goes. Lovely. Another little bit right here. Excellent. We're getting it done. Just scrape all of that off. And we're gonna make a nice, beautiful stock anew with it today. And also, you know what we can throw in? I have some pork bones from when we did the adobo that I can probably throw into the pressure cooker as well. And I think that's just going to help fortify it with a little bit of meaty flavor that it might have lost. Okay. I have another thing of meat right here, it seems. Question is, can I actually rip it off? Oh, come on, buddy. Off you go. It's not a very pretty process. We're just attacking it. That's all that's happening here. We're attacking it. We're getting rid of all the meat possible. Ooh, that's a lot of meat in that thigh. Okay, interesting. I didn't think that much would be left inside. Apologies for that. How has everybody's day been? How's everybody's yesterday been? Talk to me. It's only been a couple of days since I've seen y'all, but it's nice to see some more familiar faces and chat again. That is just a flap of skin. Don't really care about that too much. Is there any meat that I've missed? Yes, right here, perfect. Is there anything else that I want out of this? And the answer is gonna be no. I think this has been sufficiently de-meated. Okay. Lovely. Yep, that's totally fine. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into the pot. And while my hands are still dirty, I'm gonna throw this into a dishwasher. It is an interesting plate. I don't know, it's something my mom had. Had some very dried turkey, Aw, that's a tragedy. I'm so sorry. That is the average American experience, isn't it? But my turkey yesterday, it was succulent and moist and juicy and perfectly cooked. Not to brag or make you feel a little bit of FOMO, but I'm just proud of what I made yesterday. Okay. Let me see. Can I get this into my dishwasher? Yes, I can. Sweet. Today I cleaned the chicken and brined the birds. Very nice. I hope it goes well for you today. Okay, my friends. Let's take a look at this pot. You see this pot? That is a turkey carcass. Next step. We have this little bag of bones that we conveniently saved from the last stream. Right? We have a bag of the pork belly bones. Just to help fortify the stock and get a little bit of extra flavor out of it. Let's see if I can get it out of the packet in one fell swoop. I think I'll be able to. Ugh, it's stuck in there. It's so over. What is my tattoo of? It is of Daramgar. I'm gonna show you it in a second. I just want to get this out of the packet. Come on, buddy. Sweet. Those are the pork bones. Okay. Look at my Daramgar. Get a load of this guy, huh? Okay, and now we have some final things we're gonna throw in. First, we have this carrot. We are going to take off the top, and then we're also going to take off this slightly dried off bottom portion, because then we'll just throw these away, and all of this is gonna go into the stew itself. So these trimmings going in now. Then I have some rosemary and thyme that I want to infuse into the broth. So I'm also going to throw this into the pot. And I'm trying to think, what else do I want in here? It could use some allium flavor. I feel like it could use a little bit of onioniness. So we'll go ahead and chuck in. Actually, do I need any onion flavor? Much to consider. You know what? Here's what I need. There's some dried off ends of, no, that should be fine without it. I don't think this needs much else. Oh, yes, I'm not showing it right now. I guess I could just show you. But this is gonna go into the pressure cooker, right? So it's not really gonna cook here, I'm just gonna hold it there for a second. Let's think. Do I want anything else going into the stock? Let's do an onion. Let's do an onion. So we'll trim off the top. We'll slice it down to half. And then we'll just do half this onion. And I'm peeling it only because I didn't wash the onion. I didn't wash the outside of it. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to throw in the onion peel to help get a bit of color on the stock. But the color, it's gonna be there, I promise. So half an onion, just gonna throw it in right now. Okay. Then, I do believe that is gonna be it. The only thing is this is pretty high up in volume. So let me see if I could rearrange some stuff just to squash it all down. I don't want it that high up. I want everything to be like nice and even. But that is the reality when you are working with something like a chicken carcass, or a turkey carcass rather. There might be no good way for me to do this. I'm just gonna have to fill it up. It's Daramgar. Has there been discourse? I don't know if I've seen discourse about that at all. I don't know what you're talking about, I can't lie. Okay, let's do water and we'll throw it into the pressure cooker. I want a really, really concentrated stock is the only thing. I really want to make sure that we're not diluting these flavors too much, okay? So I'm just pouring in some water. And hopefully, everything will just naturally get submerged. We're doing about 4 quarts of water. Okay, my friends? I mean, I could do, you can't, yes. Do I want to? No. Because I think this roasted carcass is gonna have enough flavor as it is. The only thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe down the edges of it. so that it gets like a nice seal in the pressure cooker. You don't want like the edges to be too wet. And I'm gonna just chuck it in. We're gonna do high pressure for 40 minutes. And that should give us the flavor that we're looking for. The carcass has already been roasted, so this is just gonna give us another start on the cooking. Okay, my friends, high pressure, 40 minutes. Ideally, we would do it for like an hour in a pressure cooker, but I don't think I have that kind of time for today, which is fine. Country girls make do. Okay. Where is my bench scraper part 10? There it is. And so guys, once again, I know I already said this, but I do want to clarify. The reason that we threw in the legs and the wings as well is because the meat's going to get really tender in that process, and it's going to be a lot easier for us to actually pick the meat off of it and separate it from the tendons. If we were to try and strip it when it's cold, we would just be working against the meat, and it would be really, really difficult. So I like doing it like this. And we're intentionally not seasoning it. We're not adding any more salt to it because the carcass already has some salt on it. The legs already have some salt, and we don't know how much we're going to end up reducing it anyways, right? So it's good for us to get this out of the way now. Okay, so we're also, in addition to that, we're going to make a little bit of a stew or a salad. The stew is what we're working on now. We're gonna make a salad. I have leftover cucumbers and tomatoes as well as some scallions. And I have like this kind of ranch dressing-y thing that I made yesterday out of some sour cream and kefir, which is like a Russian fermented yogurt. I made a dressing out of that, and I think it would make for a really, really lovely salad. So we'll get on that later. In the meantime, let's do some of the vegetables for the stew. So here's what needs to happen. We gotta chop up vegetables. We gotta saute it a little bit just to get some color on it. And then we're gonna deglaze some red wine. And then we'll try and thicken the broth that we have with some flour later on as well. So quite a bit for us to do. Let's start with wiping down my knife, because this is a carbon steel knife. You don't want this to be wet. You don't want to remain wet. So you just want to wipe this off whenever you get a chance and you're in between cuts. Now, carrot, peel it. And in fact, I'm going to get some gloves on as well. Oof, it is getting a little hot in here. Should I turn on the AC? Let's turn on the AC. Hi. We'll saute it. We'll get that really delicious base for the stew. We're gonna throw in the corn, the peas at the end. It'll be pretty excellent. Okay. Carrot. Nice, easy peels all the way through. And then we also have to think about the size of the vegetables that we want. For something like this, for this kind of a stew, I think we'll take the time and do a nice fine dice. Nice fine dice, because I think, you know, it's really pleasant. You know what I always think about? I think about the texture of the carrots in like a Campbell's canned chicken soup. And I just think about how pleasant it is to get those tiny pieces of carrot. And so it is kind of that texture that I want to emulate at the moment. Let's see if I can get myself a nice big bowl for everything, for the vegetables, because we're gonna saute the carrots and the onions and everything at the same time. Okay. Now, let's section off this carrot into two major pieces. And it's really nice that we got rid of like the thin end and the thick end, because we needed some carrot for sweetness in the broth anyways. And this way we were able to use it again, right? We were able to get that sweetness out of it and into the broth without compromising the texture of the carrots that we're about to cut. So here's what we're gonna do. Using the entirety of the knife, we're going to try and get nice thin planks. So stew instead of pot pie? Yes, stew instead of pot pie. I did make a change, because I was like, I'm not making a pot pie. I'm not gonna bake puff pastry. I don't love doing pastry at home anyway. And guys, very important cutting tip right now. How many times, I'm gonna demonstrate something for you, ready? How many times have you been cutting a carrot and just chop straight down and it cleaves out and you get a piece that's way too thin, like this? You see how this was in a straight slice down? Right? You can see, let me show you. You can see how it kind of went off on a diagonal. That's because we did straight down vertical pressure. You have to use all of your knife. You have to slice it. And that way, you're going to get nice firm planks. It's not that you're not cutting hard enough or anything. If you go straight down, it's going to cleave it like an axe. Use the full length of your knife, and that's why you need a nice sharp knife that lets you do that, so you don't have to chop it, that lets you get these kinds of planks. Now I'm going to try and salvage this little bit of carrot. Great. That's how we get nice, flat, even planks. Look at the width on that. Look at the width. Look at the width. Perfect. Let's get that out of here. Sharpen your knives before Sunday. That's right. Oh, all the way through. Look at that, perfect. Perfect thickness all the way through. No cleaving, no unevenness. You're not slicing enough. This is the number one I tell people about cooking. They don't slice enough, they chop too much. Chopping gets you nowhere. Slicing gets you even cuts all the way through, and it's good form, and it's better on your knife. Because think about it this way. If you were to chop straight down, and you were to only use this portion or this portion of your knife, that is being used, and all of this is kept sharp, and this is dulling faster. When you slice, you're evenly dulling it. You're evenly distributing all of that force, right? So that there is no unevenness in your edge over time. It's just good knife form. I'm a big slice advocate. I'm a big slice advocate. Okay. Now, here's what has to happen. We'll stack them up. We'll stack up some planks. Not too many. About this much at a time. We want to get nice small cubes. I want really tasty little cubes. Okay? 1, 2. First, matchsticks. Whoop, that one slid off a little bit. It does get slippery the higher up you stack it all. Okay. Evenish matchsticks. Okay? And then all we're going to do, we're going to give it a quarter circle rotation. Also, Robin, thank you so much for the sub. Really, really appreciate it of you. We're going to give that a little rotation. And now, let's cube it up. Keeping you stacked together. Okay? That's the kind of dice that I'm looking for today. And a nice knife like this really helps to get the job done. Just go slowly, keep it together, keep it gentle, do what you gotta do. And there you go, a bunch of cubed carrots. And you can go as consistent on these as you want. I, again, wanted this size because I'm like really imagining like little tiny cubes of carrot in the stew. I think it'd be really lovely to have these. Look at these, beautiful little cubes. Okay, scrape them up into your bowl. A bench scraper does wonders for a job like this. I have some scraps here from when I did the onion. Let's see if we can get those off. The answer is not easily. Ooh, that is stuck in there. Okay, sweet. Let's go to the next one. Stack them up. I think the ideal height for these planks before they start slipping is about 3. You don't want these to slip. Okay? Matchsticks, 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 all the way through the stack. And then by the last one, it does tend to get slippery. Did I get the knife sharpened? No, this is a new knife. I'm gonna get the knife sharpened on Tuesday because the place I wanna go to is only open on Tuesdays and it takes a week for them to sharpen the knives. And I had some stuff come up this Tuesday. I had some medical stuff, so I wasn't able to go do that. So this upcoming Tuesday, I'm gonna get my other knife sharpened and then I'll have a rotation of knives. But this knife will allow me to go get them sharpened so that I'm not left without them for an entire week because I need them, you know? Okay. Let's cut through the stack. Let's get a bunch of cubes. What cutting board is that? Beautiful question. This is called an Epicurean cutting board. And the beauty of an Epicurean cutting board is that they're really thin, but they don't warp too much over time. I've had this cutting board for a decade, and it goes through the dishwasher. Epicurean cutting boards are my ideal board for the home setting. Okay, look at that. Beautiful. Let's scrape it up. Let's do the rest of it. Stack them. And again, these odd pieces we'll address directly later. Stack it and chop it. Matchsticks, 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 matchsticks. Excellent pile this time. Look at that. Take them all, bundle them up. We're gonna do the same exact thing as we have been. It's kind of annoying though. Come on, buddy. Down you go. Good boy. This pile might be too big. I might be kind of biting off more than I can chew, or biting off more than I can cut. But do as they say, not as they do. Cubes, cubes, cubes. Look at that. Chopping carrots, slicing carrots does not have to be hard. You just need a really nice knife to do it. People say they hate prepping vegetables. I promise you, it's your tools or your technique. Once you have good tools and you have good technique, you're able to still go slowly and just really, really enjoy the ritual of doing this kind of task, okay? You can do this in a food processor, of course, as well, but then you get all sorts of jagged cuts and it's like kind of torn up and it's not nearly as well sliced, so it's like too wet. Is that a Bob Kramer knife? Yes, it is. Excellent eye. I just got this thing because I wanted one for a while. It is incredibly comfortable, especially for its size. You like my accent? That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Okay, the odd pieces, we obviously can't stack them up because they're like rounded on the top. So we're just gonna have to go through this individually because we don't want to waste these. In a prep kitchen, in like a French kitchen especially, these edge pieces would be like used for the stock and disregarded altogether. I'm not gonna do that. I think that's silly. We're just gonna slice it individually before we matchstick it, or before we cut it up into cubes. What accent do I have? I'm from New York. But I also have a speech impediment. That's why I sound like that. Okay. Let's take all that. Let's bunch them up. These are going to be the most challenging, right? Because these aren't the most even pieces. But we'll get them cubed up anyways. And they'll look just fine at the end of the day. Okay, my friends. Guess what? The carrot prep has officially been finished. I'm waiting on the pressure cooker to, of course, build up pressure, to build up steam. And it's going to make for us a delicious broth, a delicious roasted turkey broth, as well as pork bone that everything is going to then cook in. Okay. That's all done. Beautiful. Let's have a little sip of water and let's take a second to breathe. We keeping up, guys? We doing good? Sweet. Got the job done. I can't make my eyes all together. So that's why I sound like that. Hello, hi. So, little update. Let's talk about what just happened and what we have left to do. We're making a turkey stew. And in fact, I think I'm going to do more of these little recaps for anybody that could be just coming in. We're making a turkey stew today out of all the leftovers. In a pressure cooker, I currently have going my turkey bones. I have some pork bones, and I have some vegetable scraps, as well as a little bit of rosemary and thyme. Then, I just finished prepping some carrot. We have to prep some other vegetables to make the stew. We're gonna do some onions, some celery, that kind of a thing. Yes, Robin. And then, we'll also be making a salad out of some leftover vegetables I have. I have these cucumbers and tomatoes, and I have a dressing that I made the other day. And we'll throw in some Parmesan cheese in there, and we'll make like a really nice leftover salad too. So at the moment, we're waiting on the stock to be completed, which is gonna take about 40 minutes. And we need to work on everything else, and we need to build the stew. We're going to have a little bit of red wine in the stew. We're going to thicken the stew with some flour and butter. We're gonna make a roux, and then thicken the broth with that so it has like a really nice viscosity. Should have grabbed some carrots, SMH. Should have grabbed some carrots. You can't have chicken noodle for dinner without carrots. Change from turkey tinga to the stew. Good question. I didn't have enough meat to actually justify making a tinga. And I had more leftovers than just the turkey meat itself that needed to be transformed because I had the corn and the peas and I had some squash and other vegetables, and it felt like a stew would do a better job of taking care of everything rather than just the meat, as much as I would love to eat a tinga, right? Which is of course like the braised breast that's been shredded. And I don't really have enough meat to do that because this is the meat from the breast and some of the thigh, and then I'm gonna peel off some more of it later. So it's just going to be much more efficient. I like stews. I think stews are just an ideal home food, right? Because they reheat well, you're able to get the job done, it's wonderful stuff. You're able to just get rid of all of your leftovers in one fell swoop with it. Okay, next. we had a little vegetable platter with like the, how do you say it? With that dressing that I made. But as a result, we also have some leftover celery, which we'll get rid of right now. Have some celery right here, and I have some more in the fridge. And we're gonna chop these up just like we did the carrots, okay? We're basically getting a classic French mirepoix. And a mirepoix is the trinity that all of French cooking uses: carrots, onions, and celery, right? An example of other trinities, of other aromatic bases used in other cuisines, of course, you have something like in Cajun cooking, you have their holy trinity, which is bell peppers, celery, and onions. So you're swapping the carrots for the bell peppers. In this case, we're keeping it French because that's what I have, and that's what I have to use up. So I have all of this celery that we're just going to toss on in. This is some scallion that we'll do later on. And all of that, all of those are leftovers from yesterday. All of those are leftovers from the vegetable platter that we did. And so this is a really nice way to use up what we have. Make something new with it. That is the entire point of today's stream. And that is the kind of home cooking that I want to push you guys to do. I'm showing you what you can do. The thing that I'm showcasing is, hey, you have leftover like bones from like a whole poultry, like from a whole turkey or chicken. You can make a stock with it the second day. You have leftover vegetables like these. You can cook them into a stew. You have leftover fresh vegetables. Well, we can make a salad out of it. And that is the biggest thing that I'm trying to showcase, and how for you to get into that habit. So, celery, we're going to chop up into sticks as well, the best that we can. Just like so. You don't have to do this. This is not a recipe. This is a technique showcase, right? I am processing everything in a slightly different way to give it new life, to give it new energy, to be able to do something exciting with it, something that is greater than the sum of its parts, so that we're not eating reheated, shitty leftovers that were never meant to be reheated. Leftovers that yesterday they tasted really good, but today they'll just be, you know, a mere shadow of what they once were, a mere shell. And so you have to transform them. Or you can just eat mediocre reheated leftovers. That's also up to you. But that is not the way that I like to go. And the stew is something that can then infinitely be reheated until you're totally done with it. We're turning this into a more stable product. And that is everything that I'm just trying to teach you guys about what it means to cook at home. Okay? Celery. We're going to chop these up into slightly smaller pieces than we did the carrots, but it doesn't really matter too much. It's all going to cook down. Okay? Get those off my knife because they wanted to stick today. And none of this is groundbreaking theory, but I'm just trying to teach you guys, how do you make the most out of what you have? And how do you turn that into something really, really special again? Because I think one of the flawed things about the way that people cook at home is they're constantly cooking everything that they want to make. You think like, oh shit, today I want to have a pad thai. So you go and buy everything for the pad thai. And the next day you make, hey, I want to make a curry. And you buy everything you need for a curry. And then by the end of the week, you're left with a fridge of a million different little things that aren't really cohesive, that you don't really know what to do with. And so for every new thing that I make at home, I am basically then transforming the leftovers into something else. Is the thing that I'm trying to emphasize. You are not a restaurant. You cannot keep up with the demand of a restaurant at home. You can't have a million different things on your menu at home. Your kitchen, your refrigerator is a living, breathing ecosystem. Okay? And you have to respect it, and you have to find a way to fit into that ecosystem. You can't make it do everything it is that you want to do. You have to listen and see what you actually have available around you. And I know this is a very big, long-winded philosophical tangent for what I'm making a stew, right? It's just a fucking stew. But a stew, to me, symbolizes how do you get rid of what you have and make it into something special again. And that is the beauty of a dish like this. And guess what? It's going to be full of flavor. It's going to be herbaceous. It's going to be nice and meaty. It's going to be full of vegetables. And it's going to be lasting in the fridge for a few days too. Chop up all of the celery. This is a concept that I am extremely passionate about. How many of you, I have a question, grew up in homes where, let's say, your family would grocery shop a bunch, and then you would have a million sauces, you have a million ingredients in your fridge, and then they would all go bad, and every 2 weeks you have to sort through a refrigerator of moldy vegetables that you then have to throw away. So many times, I visit a house where, some of my friends live in, not to give them any shade, but I go through the fridge and there's so much molded, ancient stuff. And all of that money, it's not about the food waste, it's about the money waste. All of that money that you then have to go and buy new ingredients, it's a tragedy. And that's what happens when you overbuy, when you buy too many different unrelated things, right? I've seen so many households like that. My fridge is a living ecosystem. There's mold inside. You're so right. Okay, never mind. That's the only other kind of living ecosystem you could have in a fridge. That's a good point. Okay, next, I have some green onion, and I think I want to have some green onion for the salad, and the half onion is going to go into the stew itself. That's what we'll do. So I have this white. I have another white right here, and then I have this. And the rest of it I'm just going to use for the salad. So, as for the scallion, we're not going to do anything too crazy, my friends. All we're going to do, we're just going to thinly slice it up. It's all going to break down in the stew anyways, right? Nice slices all the way through. And then we're going to get a nice fine dice on this onion. We want that onion to just really impart all of its sweetness into the stew. You might do more onion. Onions are kind of my favorite parts of aromatic trinities and mirepoix. Do I have any more scallion I need to get rid of? I should check my fridge. Okay. That's that. Some of the scallion. And then we have this bit of onion. But yeah, the biggest thing I want to do, I want to change the way that people cook at home. I have a lot of problems with the way that people cook at home, and it's not necessarily their fault. Most people, they never learned how, because there's a lot of classical methodology that I want to fight against, and there's a lot of things that have just never been taught to the majority of people. And thus, I want to change that. I want to change that, and I want to make cooking accessible, and I want to make it delicious, and I want to make it efficient. And I want people to learn what it means to have a good time with food, okay? It can be a really daunting task. For a lot of people, maybe some of you, cooking can be often perceived as a chore. And I want to show you guys how to make it something that's not that. It's not your fault. The world just kind of sucks at teaching you a lot of concepts, food being one of them. I've had so much that I've had to fight against and teach myself. So that's why we're doing this. So my friends, let's get a nice fine dice on this onion. Let me explain what's going on here. First, we're going to make some horizontal incisions. Let's drag my cutting board this way. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to level the knife. Basically, imagine if we were to cut it in like this, and we're not going to cut it all the way through. We're just making an incision. Whenever I say incision, it means I'm not cutting fully through so I get two separate pieces. I'm going to fan this onion out. You'll see what I mean. So, let's drag this even closer to the edge of the table so I can hang it off. Oh, and the pressure cooker is going. Okay, that should be fine for you guys to see. And now watch this. Keeping your knife nice and leveled, nice and parallel to the table. We're not cutting all the way through, we're making an incision to the root end. We keep the root intact so that the onion stays intact. Look, one incision done. We're going to keep going up the onion and make as many incisions as it takes to fully fan this out. Cut. Oh, I might have torn into it too much. That's okay. We're going to try and keep it bunched up together. Yeah, I cut down too much. That's okay. Incision. Keeping your hand flat on it so you don't risk your fingers. Last one. Okay. Now, we have this beautiful fanned out onion. I can show you. And now, we're going to make incisions perpendicular to it. We're going to go this way. We're not cutting through all the way to the root. Don't worry about the pieces that fall out. That's just going to naturally happen. Right? Just clean off your knife. Clean off your space as well. And again, you need a sharp knife to do the horizontal incisions. If it's not sharp, then skip that step. And then we're just able to go through the onion, and we're able to get a bunch of nicely chopped onions. The onion I care less about if they're in perfect pieces, because these tend to cook down the most. I'm just going to get rid of the especially long ones. Okay? Just like this. Slice, slice, all the way through. And let's also clean up our board as we go. The number one issue that I see when people cut things at home is they overcrowd their board and they make a mess of things as it ends up spilling out. You want to make sure that you're constantly cleaning everything. It's going to make your life a lot easier, I promise. Slice, slice, and slice. Okay. Let's get all this off of the board yet again, because it's going to be just so annoying to just cut all of this on the surface. Of doing, I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Scared of doing Celery? I don't know what that is. And these we just chop up like this. Lovely. That, my friends, is now a fully prepped onion. And this I'm going to give just one more chop all the way through. I know it's not perfect, but again, the onions tend to melt the most. So don't care about it too much. Let's take it all, pick it up, and into the bowl of vegetables it goes. Oh, I didn't know that that was a certain term for it. That's just the more modern method of cutting onions. Okay, my friends, take a look. This is a bowl of aromatics. Scallions, carrots, celery, onion, and all of this is going to go into the stew. Okay? It's going to be good stuff. The broth currently has 37 minutes on it, and here's my idea. I think I'm going to saute the vegetables in a separate pan and then add it into the pot. I'm going to deglaze that pot with the red wine, and we're going to add it into the pot where the stew is happening. Because in the pot where the stew is happening, we need to make a roux. That is a combination of butter and flour that's going to thicken it. I don't want this to be a soup. I want viscosity in the stew. I want this to be nice and thick, okay? And the way to do that is with a roux, my friends. And having that separate allows us to also cook the squash simultaneously, because the squash needs to cook the longest. All of these vegetables, we're just going to saute separately, deglaze with red wine, and then throw it in later on, once all that is done, okay? So we're going to be juggling quite a little bit here. Okay, let's think of what else we need to prep, we being you and I, of course. Let me get another sip of water. I guess we can do the garlic. We also need to do stuff with the salad. The salad we're going to do something special with. Aside from just slicing up the scallions, the cucumbers and tomatoes, we're going to slice them and salt them. And the reason we slice them and we salt them is because we're going to extract any unwanted moisture that could make the salad soggy. That's how we prevent our dressing from getting too watery, and it allows it to actually stick to the vegetables that we have. And then we get to fully season and intensify the flavor of the vegetables and get rid of extra moisture that would then dilute it. Also, hello, Catman. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. So, as a little recap, my friends, once again, I'm going to do this over and over just to let you guys know where the stream is at. The stock is going in the pressure cooker, 36 minutes left. That is the turkey bones, the pork bones, as well as some aromatics. We have finished chopping up the vegetables for the stew, which is a bunch of carrots and onions and celery, as well as some scallions. We have some squash here that's already been chopped up that we did last time on stream. That's also going to go into the stew. We're going to boil that separately. And now, I think we can work on, I guess we also have some herbs that need to go in. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to put this aside for now. We'll do the salad stuff, because the salad stuff kind of has to happen now. That does need to happen now. Because we want that salt. We want that salt to really penetrate it. And we want it to release all of its excess liquid in advance. And also because we're working with a carbon steel knife, I'm going to have to be continuously wiping this down. Okay. Lovely. So, let's get to the salad. Just salting it in advance so that we can get rid of any excess liquid. And we also have to think about the container it's going to go in. And I think what I'm going to do is this. We're going to have a big bowl. This is the station that we're going to set up. We're going to have a big bowl, and we're going to have a strainer set on top of it. We want to make sure that the strainer is not touching the bottom of the bowl. This is where all of the liquid is going to drip out. Also, thank you so much for the Prime sub. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. So, strainer. It's going to go on top here. We're going to season all of the vegetables, and it's going to drip down slowly. And then we'll just get rid of all that liquid, and we'll have perfectly seasoned vegetables that will then not dilute the dressing. So that's the station. Okay? It's good to plan these things ahead of time. So we have a bunch of cucumbers and we have a bunch of tomatoes. Let's do the tomatoes. There's a trick that I've seen people do where they take like two like plastic lids or two plates and then they put the tomatoes in there and then they slice it like that. And you can do that, but I'm just going to slice them in half individually because I have fun doing so. And the ratio of cucumbers to tomatoes is going to be a little bit off, but I more so just care about getting rid of all of this right now, and we'll still get a really delicious salad out of this at the end of the day. Nice shirt, thank you. So, here's what's going to happen, my friends. Tomato, we're going to slice it in half lengthwise, just like so, throw it in. Slice it in half lengthwise, throw it in. All of that is going into the strainer. So just one strainer in the bowl, yes, correct. We're just going to catch and then get rid of any excess drippings from them. And also get a seasoned product all in one fell swoop. Tomatoes, slice them up. Yeah, I should have really tried to do that plastic lid trick, but I don't mind doing this. I like slicing things, it's fun. Hello, chilling eyes, hope you're having a beautiful day today. Colon 3 indeed. Chilling guys, if you sub, you'll get access to the best Twitch emo that there is, or if somebody gifts you a sub. Can somebody please show off? Can one of my subs show off the colon 3 emote? The cat face? How's a plastic lid trick work? So basically what people do is they have like a plastic lid and they put a bunch of cherry tomatoes and then another plastic lid on top, and then you do like a horizontal cut like this through it. And then you take the plastic lid off top and then you'll get a bunch of halved tomatoes in one fell swoop. But I didn't have that many tomatoes to cut, so I really didn't mind doing this. Okay, a little bit at a time. Hello, is that my little Luke champ? Oh my God, is that the Anamanaguchi who made the music for the new Netflix show? Hi, it's lovely to see you. Big fan. If you guys haven't watched, oh man, I started watching the Scott Pilgrim show last night with a beautiful woman in my life. Watched like 6 episodes of it all in one shot. Man, it is a really good time. So we're gonna cut off the butts of it. Hello, Chef It Me, big fan. Hello, hello. Oh, the show is so fucking good. I'm actually really enjoying it. Every time though I watch Scott Pilgrim, the issue is I just get down bad for, I'm like, God, I need a remote of flowers in my life every single time without fail. This always happens to me. So we're gonna get nice thin slices of cucumber, like so. Nice and pretty on a bias. That's like the most basic shit I could possibly say, but I mean it. I am not Ramona Flowers. I need a Ramona Flowers, okay? It's not the same. Now, cutting cucumbers can be a little bit tricky, just because it's kind of slippery. There can't be 2 of me. I'll find a way. I'll find a way. Now, I don't know if I actually do need that in my life, but it'd be really funny. Okay. There we go. In fact, I might leave those other cucumbers. I don't want to make like a shit ton of salad. Just slicing it using all of the knife if possible. And I believe the music stopped. Wait, Luke, I have a question. This is a question for Luke. Do I have permission to have your music on my stream? I don't know how to stop like auto DMCA from like getting me on Twitch, but I would love something that's not Pokemon Lo-Fi, because this is what I've been doing for months. Okay, cucumbers, tomatoes, all chopped up. I thought we had a clear but heard of people getting DMCA'd. I see. Okay, we'll do just one more cucumber and the rest I'm gonna put away into the fridge. You'll have to investigate. Gotcha, gotcha. We'll do one last cucumber. I really don't want to overcrowd those tomatoes, I realized. All right. That's the butt. Okay, my friends, and now take a look at what's going to happen now. We have this bowl. We have this bowl of vegetables. Okay? All that we're going to do, wipe off my hands so they're nice and dry. You need what looks like too much salt. This is going to look like a lot of salt, but you need all of it. Okay? Because all of it is going to leach out in the expelled liquid. This looks like a lot, I know. Again, you're going to end up losing most of the salt. The salt is purely functional here. It's going to season some of it, it's going to penetrate some of it, but most of it is going to get released in the liquid. Okay? It's very functional. This is how we extract all that excess moisture, and then we'll have a perfectly seasoned vegetable that won't dilute the salad dressing. So make sure that salt is all over the place, and I promise you, it's all going to disappear. Okay? I love doing this for salads. Trust me, this will elevate your salads. The only exception to this is if you're doing a salad that's going to be served immediately. If you're going to serve a salad immediately, you don't have to do the step. But the longer you have a salad that sits there, that sits with the dressing, the more liquid is going to be pulled out of it, and it's going to dilute the whole thing, and the dressing is not going to then stick to the vegetables. You can already see that it looks like the vegetables are almost like sweating. Okay? All of that liquid is going to drip down. I promise you, we're going to agitate it every so often. We're going to mix it up. We're going to get rid of all of that excess liquid. This is really, truly how you elevate salads on another level. This is how you make something really special out of it. Okay, my friends? Good. Glad we're on the same page. Let me get rid of the extra cucumbers. I have no use for these. Then let's do the scallions. And then I believe we can actually get cooking. Jesse, we have to cook. Sorry. It's too hard not to do like a Breaking Bad reference. I'm gonna get my gloves back on because my hands are a little unsightly at the moment because of my eczema. But you know what? Oh man, it is actually healing up nicely finally. Whew. My hands were in pretty rough shape for a little bit. Okay, scallions. We'll get a nice thin slice, and these are gonna go into the salad. Okay? We're using everything that we have in the fridge at the moment. It's gonna be awesome. And I already have to say, getting rid of that like big ugly bowl of like the turkey carcass out, it's gonna be great. So, and I guess the last thing is gonna be the garlic too. We'll worry about that in a second. Nice and thin scallions, okay? But on a diagonal bias, because they'll look really pretty in the salad. All the way through, my friends. Great, wonderful. That is all done. Let's get that into the bowl. Bolio bigolio. Actually, why am I doing that with my hands? That's why we have a bench scraper. This is its job to do this. Clean all that up. And this we're gonna set aside. We don't need to salt these in advance. We're just gonna put them aside until the salad is ready to take them. And the last step, we don't need the knife for this. We're going to crush up a bunch of garlic. And all of that is gonna go into the stew itself. I'm gonna have a separate plate that we dedicate to the job. Let's get this plate out. Boop. That's where we're gonna put all the crushed garlic. Let me get some garlic cloves from down here. And I want a lot of garlic. This stew is gonna need some help in the flavor department. We want it to be flavorful. We want it to be rich. We want it to be sumptuous. We want it to have a character and something to say. And there's no better way to do that than with some garlic. So, how many cloves am I doing? I don't know, a whole lot is my answer. We're gonna do a whole lot. Let's do this many. So we just jumped in. Is this for the cucumber salad? Great question. That's why we're doing the updates. I'm gonna update you once we're done with the garlic. I'm gonna let you know everything that happened, and then we'll get on with it. Okay, let me get my garlic press, my favorite kitchen tool. Well, I don't know where she is. There she is. I love a garlic press. I hate cutting garlic because it just makes a mess on your cutting board, okay? So I have a question. Why the handle Dr. Slowbro? Do you really like Slowbro? What's the origin of that? I've been on a Pokemon kick lately. I've been playing so much Pokemon Unite, it's unreal. Okay, sweet. Let's get rid of all of these scraps of the papery skin. Let's get all of this thrown into the trash bowl. Always have a dedicated waste bowl, because if you have to be constantly going into the trash can, you have to dig down, it's a mess. It's exhausting. Have a waste bowl where you put all of these scraps, my friends. It will change your life. I know that's like the most Food Network-y shit that I could have possibly said, but it is true. If there's any advice that is good from them, it would be this. Have a waste bowl. Have a bunch of little bowls in your kitchen, okay? You never want to struggle for containing devices. Thought it'd be funny? It is, it's a good tag. I do love Slowbro. Slowbro is really cute. I have a Gengar tattoo. Hello, that guy. Okay. Garlic has now officially been peeled, and we're also going to cut the butts off of it. If I was prepping for a TV deal, shit. Guys, I don't know what TV channel would hire me after the amount of shit I've talked about Food Network. But the idea is this. I'm never going to sell out. I'm going to be so good at what I do that I don't care how brand safe I am. That people are just going to have to hire me because of how good of a job I do. With a trash can on his counter, that's really cute. I think that's cute. A small dedicated trash can. Very sick tat, thank you. I'm just going to be me, okay? I'm like the least, well, not the least, but I'm a pretty tough sell for a lot of brands, especially for like esports. Ooh, I've gotten some funny reasons for why I've been denied before. Anyhow, I tweet too much. I need to cut that out. So, garlic pressing. Garlic, shove it in. In it goes. 1, don't worry about scraping it off quite yet. We have plenty more garlic to peel. Okay? In it goes. Get it all the way through. Ugh. Perfect. Maddie Matheson can get a show, then you can too. Oh no. Wait, Jack, did you not get notified? Did you get like a Twitch notif? This is a garlic press. I love this thing. Everybody talks shit about garlic presses. Guys, garlic presses are so much better than having to cut garlic on your cutting board. They make the whole thing sticky, and it takes forever to process something so small. Okay? Good. Well, I'll just be the next Anthony Bourdain. It's just gonna happen. Oh, Daramgar, you can't say that. You're so full of yourself. I just will. It's gonna happen. Garlic presses are amazing. Is it a pain to clean them? Nope. All you need is a brush, and you just poke the holes of the brush, and then it cleans. The only part about that's difficult to clean is if you let the garlic dry on it. Just don't let the garlic dry on it. I'm gonna show you exactly what I do now. I'm just gonna scoop all this out with my gloves and then take my gloves off after. You can do a knife for this, but I don't like scraping knife against metal. Okay. Perfect. And now watch this. Brush your toothpicks. I'm not doing a toothpick. I have a bristly brush that I just poke it. I have this. Take a look. This. I just poke it in, and that's all it takes. Hello, Sonic. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Okay. That is all done. And then I just throw it into the dishwasher. You just want to make sure that you poke it through and you get rid of any of the pieces that are left in the holes, and then you can wash it as you would anything else. That's all. Just make sure nothing sticks and dries. Yes, you can keep your mortar and pestle dry, unless you have a dedicated wet one, which I would also recommend doing at some point. Okay, my friends, guess what? All the garlic has now been prepped. Let us take a second to look at what we've done. We've sliced up the scallions. We've sliced up, crushed the garlic. I am going to quickly wipe down my knife again because it got a little wet in this process, and it's a carbon steel knife, so we don't want it to be wet. We have gathered up a bunch of cucumbers and a bunch of tomatoes, and it's now sitting with a ridiculous amount of salt. And look, all of this is water leaching out of it. We're going to keep it there for maybe 30 minutes, for an hour, as long as it takes. Give it an occasional shake and toss, and all of it comes out. Okay? We do this and we'll have a perfectly dressed salad. So, that's done. And then we also chopped up the vegetables for the stew. There it is. And now, I think we can get cooking. Let's head to the stove, my friends. Aha! For anybody that's new here, you might be like, whoa, there's a stove shop? There is a stove shop. I think that's pretty sick. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and get my favorite pan out. Where is it out? Oh, I just knocked over the container. That's okay. So, this is a very nice clad Mavier pan. What does the Japanese tattoo say? This says Celery, or Scorpion, because Celery from Naruto is my favorite character, and I'm also a Scorpio, but I don't care about astrology at all. I just like Celery from Naruto. That's okay. Jack, thank you for stopping by nonetheless. So, let's talk about taking care of a pan. This is not an ordinary stainless steel pan. This is a clad stainless steel pan. This is kind of fancy, right? This is the brand right here, Mavier. I don't know if you guys can see that. When you have clad pans, you can't really heat them up empty because the aluminum or the copper inside doesn't really enjoy that kind of direct heat. You never really want to heat them up empty, nor do you want to blast them with heat. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn it on, medium high at most, but this is a pretty strong burner. Medium high. And then we're going to go in with a bunch of olive oil. And again, your fat choice here matters. I'm not doing canola oil, I'm not doing vegetable oil. Why? Well, all of this is going to end up going into the stew anyways. And I want a really tasty oil. If I was searing a steak, well, I only needed the oil for lubrication purposes, and I need like a higher smoke point oil that can withstand that kind of high heat cooking, I would do something like that. I'm gonna cook in olive oil because it tastes better and all of it goes into the stew, and thus you want an oil that tastes good. It's really, really simple stuff. So, medium-high heat, a bunch of oil is gonna go in so the vegetables can properly saute. The number one mistake that home cooks are doing, they don't cook with enough fat. You don't cook with enough fat, you're not properly caramelizing or cooking your vegetables, because let me explain. Allow me to explain. Your vegetables have a very uneven, jagged surface. Okay? If you put a vegetable down onto straight metal, not all of it is going to come into even contact with the metal. The oil, you have to think about oil as an extension of the metal. It is the way that the food actually gets heated. You need enough oil that you will then cover the bottom of it, that you will then cover all of the vegetables, so that when it actually goes onto the pan, it's able to properly get color evenly on the bottom, and then you're going to saute it and mix it around. People don't cook with enough oil at home. And also, it'll also stop your food from sticking. It's pretty important. And this isn't about making it taste better, it's about actually efficiently using your tools and efficiently using your devices. So, we're sauteing these vegetables, we put in a nice big splash of oil, and we're using olive oil for the taste, for the flavor. As a little update, the pressure cooker has 16 minutes on it left. In 16 minutes time, we'll take out all of the bones and we'll have a beautiful stock with which to build the soup. I am also going to open up this bottle of red wine, because once the vegetables are done sauteing, I'm going to reduce a bunch of red wine in this pan to both deglaze it, but then also I just want the flavor of red wine in the stew. And then I'm also going to have a sip directly from the bottle. And I can do that because I'm now 21 years old. So that works. As of this month, I'm 21, right? My birthday is November 1st. What is the bottle opener though? That is the only challenge. Ah, I see it. Okay, my friends. Gonna open up this bad boy. I'm not going to remove the foil. I just like doing this straight up, and then it takes all of it out with it. And it goes. Open it up. And then let's see, can we pull it out? Yes, we can. Now I have a nicely opened bottle of red wine. Happy belated. Thank you. Yeah, it's not even perforated. Removing that foil otherwise would have been a nightmare to do. Okay, again, we want that oil nice and hot. It is actually virgin olive oil, so you don't want to overheat it because it could start burning. We just want something nice and hot. Delicious. Okay. Straight from the bottle because it is my home and I get to do what I want. I'm going to do this again. This is a privilege that I was not able to have on stream before. So thus I do it now. Okay, the oil is heated up nicely. You don't want to really take it to the point that it started smoking, but a little bit before. And now we'll also do some butter. And we didn't heat up the butter with the rest of the oil because the butter would have completely burned by now. Okay? So we only do it now. And then at the same time, we'll throw in these vegetables before the butter has a chance to brown. Okay? So all of it goes in now. And we're going to hit it with some salt. And you want a nice big pan. You want to make sure that it can accommodate all of the vegetables that are inside of it. Okay, my friends? Get everything out. Everything in there. We'll hit it with a bunch of salt. Salt. Black pepper. Where is my pepper grinder? Isn't it here? Where'd it go? What? Did I lose my pepper grinder? How could this happen? Oh, it's hiding behind the oil. Bunch of black pepper. And now, let's mix it through. We're gonna grab your pan. I'm gonna show you guys how to saute things. Okay? We're gonna push and pull, push and pull. It's a little bit difficult when you have a pan that's kind of this crowded, and it's a little harder with small pieces, but push, push and pull. Ooh, yeah, this pan's a little heavy for this. So we might just end up doing a spoon. But we need to talk about why do we do that? Why do we saute things by flipping it? I'm going to explain why. Let me show you what happens if I try to stir this with a spoon. Look, what did we just do? Did we flip any of the vegetables? Maybe some of them, but all we really did was push the vegetables around. When you properly saute it, right, when you flip it, when you get a lot of air in there, what you're doing is you're flipping the vegetables and you're rotating them mid-air. And also, in restaurant settings, it's very important to do this if your pan is overheated, because you're basically cooling it off the more that you move it around and the more that you get air inside. And so when your heat is always cranked up to high, that's how you regulate it. So it's very, very functional. You're doing a lot. And it is actually easy. It's only difficult if your pan is too heavy or if it has too much. But if you use a spatula, again, it doesn't do it efficiently. You have to make sure that you're constantly turning the vegetables, not just pushing them. It's a very big difference in the motion. If you're just moving them around and actually flipping them, ooh, you're inconsistent with your flips? Sounds like you have to practice, Zio. Unless you have other physical reasons that could be stopping you, in which case, don't let me tell you to do that. But if you were able to, I recommend practicing. Okay. Be nice and confident with it. But again, this is a very big pan of vegetables, so I might not even do that with it, because I've already spilled a few. Normally, I wouldn't do that, but my arm strength is not incredible. So the vegetables are currently what we call sweating. They've released a bunch of liquid, and it's cooking in its own liquid. What we're going to try and do is we're going to evaporate that liquid as much as possible, and we're going to let it start cooking in the fat again. Right? You shrink the vegetable, it releases the water, it boils in its own water, and then people say, oh, we've sauteed it, we can stop there. No, we're looking to saute the vegetables. We're looking to cook them in fat. We're looking to get color on the vegetables. We're not looking to just simply steam and boil them. If we were to simply steam and boil them and sweat them, we could have just added it directly into the stew itself. So be patient, let it do its thing, let the water evaporate. Okay? Good, glad we're on the same page. And now, we have to think about what else that we can actually do. But I don't think there is a lot else. Whoa. We did the salad prep, that's just chilling out now. We have the dressing already made for it in the fridge. We have the scallions already sliced up. We have the broth that's gonna be done in 9 minutes. I guess the only thing we're worrying about is cooking the vegetables. We're cooking the liquid out. We're gonna get a nice proper color developed on them, okay? And you see the way I'm turning it? I'm moving it and then I'm flipping it. I'm flipping and I'm pushing. I'm not just stirring the vegetables. which doesn't actually flip it. Lovely, just like this. Nice high heat so that we can evaporate all of that liquid, and then we'll drop the heat as needed. I'm not banging on the side of my pans either. Can I do a French omelet? Oh, I love French omelets. I have not had the excuse to do one in quite some time though. But it is what I normally do to impress a girl if I'm cooking for her. I love French omelets. Love them. Can't get enough of them. Okay, I am going to clean my station as I go. Right? I have some salt here that was poured over. I have some little bits of vegetables that I ended up spilling around. I'm just gonna get rid of these now so that I don't have to worry about them later. Okay? Sweet. And again, guys, we have everything that we need for today ready, and it's all going. So let's take a look again. This is all of the meat that's gonna go into the stew, and then we're going to get some more off the leg and the thigh that's in there, the scallion that's gonna go into the salad, the garlic that's gonna go into the cooking vegetables, and then we have these cucumbers and tomatoes sitting with a bunch of salt. We're gonna give it a nice little shake. We're redistributing all of it, and we're letting it get rid of all of that excess moisture. And if I were to taste one now, delicious. And again, the longer it sits like this, the less salty it's going to be, because all the water that drips out of it is going to carry that salt with it. Okay? So we just move it around, we push it around, and we'll get rid of as much of it as possible. Okay, we can hear that the sound has changed on the cooking vegetables. We can hear that it's a little bit more high end. If you get like a bassy sound, a psh, that's water. If you get a high end, a pss, that's oil. And the oil is telling us that it is beginning to brown on the side, so we're gonna lower the heat. We've evaporated a bunch of the liquid. Beautiful. And now we're properly sauteing these vegetables. And once they're sauteed and we get some color on them, we're going to deglaze the whole thing with a bunch of red wine and reduce it to evaporate the alcohol and to really concentrate it. I never knew that. Well, there you go. It's just about it's just some physics involved, right? You can hear it for yourself. Take a hot pan, pour a bunch of water in it, and then cook some onions. And you'll hear it as it boils away. It'll be like a psh, right? You hear like the sh. It's not a s, it's a sh. You hear that? That's cooking in water. And then, the less water there is and the more oil, or maybe just more contact to metal, the more psss it's gonna be. So that's your indication about the kind of liquid that's in there. So that tells me, like, I can step away from this if it was going psh. Okay? I could just step away from it because I know that it's wet and it's not gonna burn. But if I hear a psss, I'm not gonna really leave the kitchen vicinity. Okay? The stock is almost done. 5 more minutes on it to pressure cook. We're gonna get like a lot of those really deep, delicious roasted flavors out of it. It's gonna be incredible. And we're gonna thicken it again. And then yesterday, I essentially have the same exact stock, except made into gravy, right? This is the turkey stock that was thickened and filled with herbs. So it's gonna be really tasty. Why don't I bang the spoon on the edge of the pan? Good question. Because it's just not nice to your pan to do that. I'm not using metal, even on the really nice stainless steel pans, because it scratches it. And banging on the edge of it can over time cause some very, very slight dents. I'm respecting the cookware that I'm on, and I'm being gentle with it. If this was a cheaper pan, I don't think I would give as much of a shit. This is not, though. This is a really, really nice piece of metal. It's clad, it has an aluminum core, really nice stainless steel outside. We're giving it a nice stir all the way around, making sure that we're cooking different sides of the vegetable. And you can smell the carrots, you can smell the celery, the aromatics, all of it is just coming through beautifully, okay? And you can see it's also reducing significantly in volume because we're evaporating a lot of the liquid from it. We're collapsing the texture of the vegetables. So nice and even on the bottom. I love smelling carrots, yes. We're being respectful to nice cookware. It's for that same reason we don't use metal on cookware. Right? We don't use metal on Teflon pans, but even stuff like this. I'm a big wooden tool guy. Okay? I'm a big wooden tool guy, in fact. Yeah, a little classist of me, isn't it? We get to bang up like the cheap ones, but not the expensive ones. Okay, I'm trying to think, is there anything else we need to do? And the answer is yes. We do need to slice some dill. Because I wanted some dill for the salad and I wanted some dill to also go into the stew. I have a bunch of pre-chopped dill, and I think this is the dill that's just gonna go into the stew already. Actually, no, it's not that sliced up. It's pre-washed, it's already chopped up somewhat. I want this finer. So I'm gonna take this out and we're gonna put it back into this container. I'm gonna first give the carrots and the onions a little stir while I do this, just to make sure it's not burning on the bottom. We're gonna slightly lower that heat as well. And I can see the oil is now pooled around it again, and it is frying. And we're developing some color on the bottom. We don't wanna burn that. We're gonna deglaze all of it with a bunch of red wine. Okay? Beautiful. And those vegetables, they're gonna fill up the stew and we're gonna get a really delicious product, my friends. Okay. So we're gonna leave that alone for a second. We're gonna bunch up our herbs, where to? We're just gonna slice our way through all of this. Slice, not chop, slice. We don't wanna destroy these really delicate herbs. In fact, this is gonna be plenty for the salad and the soup both. I don't think I'm gonna need more than this. Okay, I just want to get a really, really fine slice on this. Ugh. Everything is coming together, my friends. We're getting all of it done. And I'm really, really excited to eat this too. We're going to get a little bit more color on the vegetables, and then we'll pour in the red wine and a splash of soy sauce, and that's going to give everything a little bit more oomph. Okay? Pressure cooker has 2 minutes left on it. I think we've timed everything quite well. We didn't rush. We got it all done. Okay, that should be plenty. Let's scoop it up, throw it in this. Dill, no matter what, does have a tendency to slightly stick. It's a little bit annoying at times, but we got it done. Let's get all this off. Okay, and then we gotta go back and give the vegetables a stir because I can hear that sound. Also, thank you so much, Manu Goel, for the sub. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Thank you, thank you. How long have you been subbed? For 3 months. Wait, subscribed for 10 months total. Holy shit. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay. Carrots, onions, celery, and scallions. They've gotten a lot of color on them. We're gonna give them another second while I wipe down the knife, and then we're gonna pour in some red wine and some soy sauce. And the soy sauce, we're just putting it in there for a little bit of extra meaty oomph. Not really to taste soy. It's not gonna taste like soy sauce, it's just gonna give it a little bit of depth. You hear that beeping? The stock, my friends, is done. So, I'm gonna keep it in there for just a second, because we gotta focus on this. So, hot pan. It's going. The vegetables are slightly sticking to the bottom. They're roasting. We've gotten a lot of really nice flavor out of them, but we're not really caramelizing them. That's not what we're looking to do. But we got the appropriate color, and we've got them all softened. So now, we're gonna turn down that heat slowly. We're gonna pour in a bunch of red wine. That much. Oh shit, I forgot to do the garlic. Oh no, I was supposed to saute the garlic too. I completely forgot. So it's gonna go in now. It's gonna be boiled and not sauteed, unfortunately. And then you're gonna take your spoon and you're gonna scrape up the sides. You're gonna basically clean up your pan. Anything that was stuck in the cooking process, you're going to scrape up and put back in, okay? Ah, I'm annoyed. I can't believe I forgot to do that. I'm gonna also do the soy sauce now because we're trying to evaporate the liquid of the soy sauce. And we're going to get like a nice moist paste of vegetables. So, little splash. It is light soy sauce. I should have done the dark. And that's not gonna be enough for us to taste it, but just for it to give us some more meatiness to the entire stew, okay? And we're gonna evaporate all of this excess liquid. Smells wonderful. Vegetables, garlic, onions. Beautiful stuff, my friends. Just let it do its thing and scrape up those sides. Scrape it up. Get it all in there. We're going to leave it in the pan until we're ready to put into the rest of the pot. I am going to release the pressure on the pressure cooker. Good luck, have fun. Thank you, Simple Flips. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Pressure cooker released. So, good question. Carrots, onions, celery, and some scallion whites, as well as garlic, red wine, and a little bit of soy sauce. Okay? Good. Glad we're on the same page. Ooh. Smells wonderful. And the stock smells pretty damn good too. Pretty much always. Happy to hear it. All right, everybody. We're going to shut off the heat on this. That's reduced enough. We just wanted to basically clean up the pan. And this is going to get added to the stew later on, so we can kill the heat. Let's talk about everything that we've done so far. Everything that you and I, that's us, baby. Everything that we've accomplished. This was red wine. I believe this was a little bit of Cabernet. So, yes, there's a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon. All right, my friends, recap time. Let's go ahead and take a look. So, we have done all of the prep that we need for the stew and the salad today. Carrots and, cucumbers and tomatoes. We've thoroughly salted all of it, and we're getting rid of all of the excess liquid while it is sitting in that salt. And that's going to stop the dressing from getting diluted. For the salad, scallions have been sliced, and the dill has also been sliced, and this is going to go both into the stew and the salad. In the pressure cooker at the moment, I have the turkey bones, I have pork bones, I have some vegetable scraps, and we've made a delicious, super, super concentrated turkey broth. And out of that broth, we're going to turn into the rest of the stew. And then we're going to shred up the meat from it as well. We have some of the breast meat and some of the thigh meat. And then in there I have my turkey leg and my turkey wings. We're going to pluck it out, and we're going to shred up the meat from that. And then we've sauteed the carrots, we've sauteed the onions, we've sauteed the garlic, we've sauteed the celery, and the scallion whites in red wine and a little bit of soy sauce with olive oil and butter added. So here's what's left. We got to take out the bones, we got to strain out the stock, okay? We got to shred up the meat from it, and then we have to thicken the stock, and then we have to put all the meat, all of those cooked vegetables, and some heavy cream in, and it's going to be wonderful. I don't think I'll do that. Also, I'm not going to mute you now, but let's not be weird in my chat. I would prefer we don't do that, please. Thank you very much. So, this makes me a little uncomfortable. Stock has now been completed. We're waiting for the pressure to release so that we can open up the pressure cooker, and then I'll show you exactly what that looks like in just a moment. Okay? I'm just moving my cooked vegetables aside, and I could probably scoop it up now in advance, but I don't care about it that much. Cool, what's the dressing? Excellent question, Trash Panda. I'm going to show you. So this is a little dip, basically, or dressing in a way, that I made yesterday. This is sour cream, a little bit of Russian yogurt called kefir. All right, baby koala, goodbye. Great, goodbye. So, I give you one warning, and that's enough. So, this is sour cream, kefir, garlic, and more dill. And I think it'd be really nice with the salad. It's gonna be like a very Russian salad in a way. Guess what? The stock has completed. Let's head on over to the stove again. I'm gonna show you guys the stock. What wine do I like to drink? I don't really drink wine or any alcohol because I get, I think I might have like an alcohol allergy. I get very nauseous from it. Somebody did just get sent to the Shadow Realm. You're right. I'm just putting some stuff away, and I'm just gonna show you my beautiful turkey stock that we made. Ideally, it would have cooked for longer, but we don't have that kind of time today. Oh, gorgeous. Come take a look. This is the stock that we made. It's very poggers. I'm glad you like it. This is a stock. So this has the turkey bones, this has the pork bones, and we have some herbs and vegetable scraps. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to get rid of everything from here besides the legs and the wings. Okay? The legs and the wings we are going to make into the rest of the meat that's going to constitute the stew. And the vegetable scraps and the carcass, they can all go. We have no more use for them. Okay? I'm trying to think about the best way to do this. The best way to set up my station here. Because that is still a little bit hot, but I think it'll be okay. Okay. How hot is this? Quite hot. That's a problem. Because I was going to just put this in there. What do I do here instead? Alright, let's switch it around. That'll be fine. It's going to be a little bit inconvenient, but it'll be fine. So. Oh, shit. I just slammed that plate onto the table. Okay. See what's going to happen. We're going to get my favorite tool. This is called a spider. This handy dandy little device is called a spider. Okay? And we're going to essentially scoop everything out and put it onto this plate. And then we'll strain out all of the stock. Okay? Get the vegetables out with care. We don't want to smush it. We don't want to make the broth any dirtier than it is. And then I think I should reduce all of this. I should reduce this whole operation. Yeah, that might be kind of important. Okay, let's get that off. We're going to let the vegetables kind of cool. Ugh. We're going to let it cool so that we can easily debone it after. All of that goes onto the plate. We're going to strain it off. Come on, buddy. Off you go. Plate you go. Sweet. Oh, I still have so much more stuff in here. We're going to have to go through all of this and decide what is getting thrown away and what isn't. So we'll do that in just a moment. Come on. Please don't spill. Sweet. Okay. And then we have this big old leg that I'm actually going to leave in for a second. Okay, my friends. I don't know why it's called the spider. I actually couldn't tell you. So, here's what needs to happen. Let's head to the plate. Or to the cutting board, rather. I am going to need this strainer, but not right now. So, we have all of this meat, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to deal with while it's hot, but we are working under a slight time crunch. We're going to get rid of everything that we don't need. So this carcass, out it goes. This carrot, off it goes too. Okay? This is the bone, this is the leg bone. Off it goes. I know it doesn't look too appealing, but we're just getting rid of everything that we don't need at the moment. This is the wing. We're going to need that. This is also the wing. This is some good meat, it looks like. This is all bone. That looks like it's from the pork. I have no interest in this. This is just good meat. Let's get rid of the rosemary, the thyme, and this is more carcass. This is just more bone. All of this just slides off. Ooh, it's hot. I know it doesn't look too appealing, but we're going to turn all of this into a beautiful stew, okay? Promise. This is just the rib cage. I have no use for this either. More rib cage. Just straight clean bone. Onion. This is all skin. It's not going to go into the stew. Yeah, I'm sorry, this isn't the most visually appealing. It's a little bit gruesome, in fact, but it's a very necessary process. This is how we turn this into something new. That is some more of the breastplate. We really want to be careful that we're not including any bones in this pile, because we're just going to go ahead and pick through all of this. Okay. In fact, I think I'm going to go back to the stove and get the rest of it out so I can pick through that and let the broth reduce in the meantime. So let's head to the stove again. Oof, I might just swap my gloves out because they got a little bit wet in all of this. Nice meat, thank you, made it myself. Okay, again, these are all leftovers. I apologize for the way that it looks, but this is necessary. So let's get this back over there. You know what, I don't care. I'm just gonna transfer that over here and make my life easier. Let's go ahead and grab this big old leg. Plop it in. And anything else that might be left over on the bottom. Okay, and we're gonna sort through all of this. Sweet. Is that it? I think that's it. Wonderful. Hello, Denise. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. All right, let's head back to the cutting board. This, we're gonna let this cool off for just a second, okay? Now, let's head to the stove one more time. I'm gonna let that cool off so it's a little bit easier for us to handle. We're going to go into this pot. We're gonna strain everything out. I am currently using my metal strainer for this. Let's see if I can swap that over to a different one. I wanna use this metal strainer for the broth. Yeah, that'll do nicely. It just has some cucumber and tomato juice in there, but it's fine. Okay, my friends. Strain it on. And broth goes in. Oh man, that is getting filled up. Okay, sweet. That's all done. Get rid of all of those pieces that would have otherwise made its way into the stew. And now we're going to boil all of this really, really hard. We're gonna boil it, and we're gonna reduce it down so that we concentrate all of those flavors. Otherwise, this would be too bland. The official Thanksgiving Day was yesterday, technically. So, that's the broth. We made that out of the turkey bones, out of some pork bones. We're gonna crank up that heat. We're gonna let this cook, and I am gonna get rid of all of this, because we have no use for this anymore. We want to reduce it, my friends. If you ever think your stock is too weak, it's just not concentrated enough. We needed that much liquid to actually get that texture that we wanted, but it's going to be wonderful. It's looking marvelous today. Thank you. All right. My music stopped one more time. Oh, actually, it did not. All right, everybody. Recap time. Let's talk about everything that we've done thus far. Everybody that's been watching, I'm sorry for the amount of times that I want to repeat myself. This is just so that anybody that just tuned in, they can be in the know. So, I want to hear a yes, chef. Is everybody listening? Is everybody listening? That's not threatening enough. Is everybody listening? I'm going to use that as a chance to drink some water. That's what I'm talking about. Good. So, let's talk about everything that we've accomplished today thus far. Number one, we've made this beautiful stock right here. This was done with the turkey scraps from yesterday. This was done with some pork bones. This was done with some onion, with some carrot, with some rosemary and thyme. And now we're going to reduce it down so we have a really delicious, concentrated and meaty stock. Okay? Next, we've prepared the vegetables for the stew. We have carrots, onions, celery, garlic, and scallions cooked down in some red wine, with a little bit of soy sauce added to it as well. Then, into the stew itself, we'll be going, I have some cubed squash, right here that we did on a different stream. I have some cubed squash, and we have some corn and peas, and some leftover gravy. And so the stew is going to be constituted with all these different vegetables, and then the scraps, we're going to get the meat off of them, and that's all gonna go into the stew. We're reducing it so that we can really concentrate the meaty flavors of it all. And we're gonna finish it with heavy cream. So it's gonna be rich, it's gonna be hearty, it's gonna be the kind of a stew that you wish you were eating. You wish this was you. I'm pretty sure you do at least. And then at the same time, we've also prepared some stuff for the salad. We have some carrots, or excuse me, some cucumbers and tomatoes that is sitting over the strainer with a bunch of salt so that we get rid of all the excess moisture from it, so that it doesn't dilute the salad. And into the salad will go scallions, dill, and a lovely dressing that we made the other day out of some sour cream and kefir. It's gonna be acidic, it's gonna be fresh, it's gonna have like a real Russian taste to it in a way. It's gonna be amazing stuff. So, what do we have to do? We have to debone the meat while the broth is reducing. How do I know so much about cooking? I taught myself. I have been obsessed with food. It's been my special interest. How do I know how much wine to use when you cook? With a great question, as much as you desire. That's it. I wanted a pronounced red wine flavor, so I added maybe like a glass and a half, essentially. But it's really about intuition and just thinking about what you want to taste. And how does turkey differ from chicken? Good question. Turkey tends to be, in a way, almost like a little sweeter. It tends to be tougher because it's a bigger bird and isn't domesticated as easily as chickens. So it tends to be a little bit tougher. The tendons tend to be bigger. The way to think about it is the bigger the bird, the more of a chance it has to be tough and the more active it is, right? So that's why like game, that would also be a little bit tougher, okay? But otherwise, it's a pretty bland poultry, at least the domesticated turkey that we have in the United States. Wild turkey can be very different in taste. Favorite chef? Myself. Second? I don't know. I hope that answers your question. So, let's get to the deboning process of all the meat scraps that we have. This, my friends, is the meat scraps. We have some thyme that we need to pick off. We have no use for it. We have some carrots, we have all of this. We gotta make sure that we have a station set up where we can put all of the meat, because this bowl, this plate, is way too small. Now, look at the stock, it's boiling. We're gonna evaporate all of the liquid, and we're keeping all of the flavor concentrated in the stock. We're going to get a really delicious stew this way. It's gonna be viscous, it's gonna be gelatinous because of all the protein in there. It's gonna be incredible stuff. So, let's get a nice big bowl, and definitely not Gordon Ramsay, you're absolutely right. I'm trying to think what bowl would be suitable. You know what? Let's do this one. So, this was all of the good white meat that we've had, all the turkey breasts and stuff. Okay? Yeah, definitely not Gordon Ramsay. I have talked a lot of shit on the stream about him, and for good reason. Okay, here's what has to happen. Let's glove up. Let's get those gloves on. I'm gonna have it like this so you guys can see it. Perfect. I'm gonna get rid of these bones. Gordon Ramsay doesn't have shit on me. You're absolutely right. Thank you for understanding that. So, here's what happens. Glove up, my friends. The bones and the meat have cooled down enough that I feel like I can touch it without totally burning myself. Okay? And all this is gonna get added back into the stew. Let's get rid of this boiled carrot. We have no use for this. All of its flavor is gone and extracted into the broth. All these bits of onion. This is some bone. And we're gonna carefully go through all of this. Every single last bit of it. We can get rid of this bone. We have no use for this. Right? Okay. Now, these were the wings. When I grow up, I want to be as cool as you. Thank you. Anybody that's already watching this is already cool. So, look at this. The meat, now that it's perfectly cooked, slides off. We didn't debone this when it was cold because it would be tense and stuck to the bone. When it's warm and hot, especially after cooking more, it just slides off that easily. Now, you have to be careful. There's always going to be bones. We're going to get rid of the skin. We don't need the skin in the stew. It's just soggy, boiled skin. We're just going through all of this carefully. What is that? Whoa. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that, my door rang. I apologize for that. I might need to be back in a second. This kind of killed my flow, I do apologize. Hello, hope you're having a beautiful day today, Mushinsky. 1 second, everybody, I'll be back in just a second. Please don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. So let's get back to deboning. The broth is reducing. We're getting it nice and concentrated. No. Boyden was a lovely person, indeed. You didn't mean it. You made a mistake. No need to feel like an asshole. Do miss Boyden dearly. Okay, the broth, look at that. It is boiling away. We're gonna get it nice and concentrated and delicious. So, let's get back to the deboning. I lost my place of where I was. Did I just dump all of that meat in here? Is that what I did? Okay. And all of this is good meat to eat. Let's get rid of the skin though. We don't want any skin. We don't want any skin, we don't want any cartilage, we don't want anything unpleasant. We want a nice tender mouthfuls of meat. Okay, my friends? Perfect. I'm gonna have to go through the breast as well. Get rid of the skin here. Lovely. Excellent. Yeah, chef, good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Now, we have this wing right here. It's not that he's a dickhead. I think he just sucks and is incompetent. And he's a celebrity TV chef that makes too much money. That's all. I don't care about him being necessarily a dickhead as much as I do that he just doesn't really know what he's talking about. So, let's get all the meat off of this. This is the wing drum. Just feeling. We don't want anything unpleasant. Let me taste that. Yep, that's just good meat. Nothing but good, solid meat. It's a character, it's a persona. I just don't like anything he says about food. That's pork meat. We don't need that in this. Pork bones. Okay, now we got to peel off. This is the leg. Is it a leg? We can peel off all the skin from it. Okay. Ooh, perfect. And you can see we've taken out the tendons with it. Look at that. When it's this cooked, when it's warm and hot and fully cooked, we can take out every single tough tendon that would otherwise make for an unsavory stew. Perfect. All of it just comes out really easily. And now we open this up. We open this up and we feel around. You see this? Off this comes. Ah, they're really pronounced on turkey. They're really big and really tough. Look at that. You see these? This is why we're deboning this. We're getting rid of this. How many times have you guys eaten like a turkey leg and got this stuck in your teeth? It's very unpleasant. I hate it. So we're being delicate. We're being very careful with this. We're getting rid of anything that could compromise the texture of an otherwise. Ooh, that is so flavorful. Otherwise beautiful stew. Leg meat, good leg meat. Leg meat can be tricky to work with for this reason. Yeah, it is. It's just, oh, I hate that texture. Hate it. I hate biting into it more than anything. When you get rid of all of it, you get all this beautiful leg meat just like that. Nice and succulent and tender. But it makes leg meat a hassle to work with. Okay? Thigh meat. That's just skin. This is another chunk of leg meat, it looks like. We're just going through it, making sure there's nothing in it that we don't want to eat. Excellent. This looks like wing meat because it's lighter in color. Wings aren't really dark meat. They're just basically extensions of the breast is a good way to think about them in terms of their flavor. Yeah, he's just a TV chef. And I, above all else, hate TV cooking content. I hate it. And that's why, in fact, I dislike a lot of cooking content as it is. I think it doesn't do a good job of doing anything to people. I like being able to teach things. I like being able to help people. That's why I really love a live format, because I also love live performance. I do video game commentary, right? I love it. Okay. Turkey meat, beautiful. Going through all of it. Look at that. That's actually more fat than anything. Yeah, that's all pork bones. Pork bones. And these little scraps of meat, it's going to be a little too difficult to differentiate between this and actual good meat. So I think off it goes. Yes. So what's my experience in food TV like? I was on Chopped Junior, season 2, episode 5. That's my experience in TV. That was 8 years ago. I was 13. And I am a video game commentator, yes. I do commentary for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I'm an official Brawlhalla commentator as well. So I do esports. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of this now. I have no use for these scraps. They've already done their job. They've imparted all of their flavor. But I would love for me to make this my living. I'd love to be able to live off of doing what I do now. I love teaching people how to make food. I love teaching people how to cook. Above all else, it is my calling. Okay. Oh, it was an enjoyable experience. I love being on camera. I love it. I can't get enough of that kind of stuff. I truthfully live for it. But I don't like cooking competition formats because that's not a way that people actually cook. It's purely entertainment value. Nobody cooks an entire meal ahead to, beginning to finish in 30 minutes. It's not what people do. It's not even what line cooks do, because for the professional chefs, they have all of their prep work done as well. They have things that have been pre-cooked, right? Nobody is cooking that much from the beginning, so it's just kind of weird. So I don't enjoy the idea of being on a cooking competition again, but I just want my own show. That's all I want. Okay. Turkey meat has been separated. We've got it off, and this is all gonna go into the stew now. The only thing left I'm going to do for it is my table buckled? It is slightly. All thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab another glove and I'm gonna go through it one last time to make sure I've gotten rid of any bits of collagen, anything that we don't want. And I'm gonna tear up some of the big chunks of white meat that we have in here too, okay? On an HGTV cooking show be fun? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. So, let's go through this. What is this? Tear up that white meat. It's looking good. We're using a sense of touch. Anything hard should not be in here. It should all just be nice, tender, beautifully cooked meat. Any skin, anything too squishy, doesn't belong. You see that? Skin? Away it goes. I did get rid of my waste bowl and I shouldn't have done that. I do still need this. Okay. Off it all goes. Off it goes. Especially the big pieces, you want to tackle those. You want to make sure that there's nothing funny, no funny business with them, because they can hide all sorts of things. Okay. Shred up the meat. Get nice little pieces out of it, because you don't want just like a big hunk of meat in a stew. You want it to be evenly distributed with all of your other components. This seems to be a tendon in the chicken tender. We're going to try and pull the meat off of it. Okay, this does look pretty good for the most part. I think I've gotten rid of anything unsavory in this. And I'm just going to shred this up a little bit smaller. Oh, that is actually some cartilage. I can tell because of how tough it is. Well, not cartilage. I'm not really sure it is. It might just be connective tissue. People tend to use those all interchangeably, and while it gets the job across, it gets the job done. I don't want to just be wrong about it for no reason. Okay. There you go. Tear that up. Some more breast skin that I've yet to get rid of. Oh yeah, people, they just are so terrible with their Thanksgiving dishes. I make things special. I make stuff really special. Okay, guess what? We have a bunch of meat for the stew now. That's all torn up. It's gonna be ready to go. It's gonna be perfect. Going into this. Let's take my gloves off one last time. Let's take a second. Let's have a breather. Everybody, what did we just accomplish? We've shredded up the meat for the stew. On the stove at the moment, we have the stock going. The stock has been pressure cooked, and now we're reducing it so that we get to really concentrate its meaty flavors. We sauteed carrots, onions, celery, scallions, garlic, and some red wine, olive oil, butter, and soy sauce. We have the vegetables prepped for the salad that we're doing. Everything is all coming together. The last step is we need to thicken this. And we're gonna thicken this using a roux. Once we've reduced this down enough, I'm gonna just transfer this to a different bowl, I think. I think that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna transfer the stock to a different bowl once I've gotten rid of some of the volume, and I'm gonna build a roux, which is gonna be a combination of fat and flour that's gonna thicken the rest of this beautifully. We're gonna get a really delicious, delicious stew out of it. And into this is also gonna go these bits of corn and peas, because I have those. And we do actually also have to cook, oh shit, I forgot about the squash. I think I should cook the squash now. I think it should be boiling in the stock now. Because that is going to take the longest to cook. Okay, we'll do the squash now. Kind of forgot about it for a second. We're gonna drop it in, one by one. And this is some kabocha squash. And I'm dropping it in one by one so that it doesn't splash up. Right? If you were to just dunk it all in, we're gonna splash a bunch of stock everywhere. It's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be the worst to clean. We gotta keep this boiling, we gotta keep this reducing. And we'll clean as we go too. The squash we want to make sure is really nice and tender. Okay? Perfect. All done. Ever make or enjoy Cajun food? Yes, we did red beans and rice and it was pretty fucking incredible. I love it. Okay, squash is in there. Stock is continuing to reduce. And now I'm going to take a second to just throw things into the dishwasher. Because the best time was yesterday, the second best time is doing it as you go. Clean as you go, and your kitchen will thank you. The lack of mess will be pretty incredible, okay? And so, that's going. I'm gonna let the squash cook. I'm gonna set it aside in a little bit, and then thicken it all together. It's gonna be good stuff. Roux with chickpea flour, no I have not. I don't know how that would work because roux, I don't know, I haven't really experimented with using alternative flours for these, no. I'm just gonna put aside my bottle of red wine. I can just throw that into the fridge. Cleaning up my entire station. Okay, gamers? Good. Glad to hear it. Ugh. Hi. Let's talk about the salad. Let's do the salad. While we have like a little second of time. So, stock is going, it has a squash in it. And we're gonna have to season the whole thing really heavily with salt. We'll do that at the end, once we get a final texture, okay? So, let's talk about the vegetables. Guess what? They've been sitting over the strainer, they've been releasing all of their liquid. And now that means we have perfectly seasoned vegetables. That are not soaking wet. We salted in advance so it doesn't loosen the dressing. So here's what we do. We're gonna dump out this water. We don't need it. All of that would have gone into the salad and would have ruined it. So I'm glad we did that. I'm gonna wipe down the bowl too, because I'm just gonna make it in the same bowl. Just gonna do it all in here. Yes, oh, I wish I had that ability to do that. When I move out, that's gonna be it. Ooh. Okay. It's fine. The bottom of it hit the bowl. A little clumsy. Scared the shit out of me, is what that did. Vegetables. Into here. In they go. Delicious. Really, really delicious. Holy fuck, I got scared. Okay. I'm fine. Everything is fine. We're okay. You're gonna eat all the vegetables. I am. Well, I think myself and my mom. So, scallions, a bunch of green onion. Let's get the dill. We're gonna get a big handful of dill. And then, the dressing that we made the other day with the sour cream with the kefir. Let's just spoon it in. All of it. Scrape it up. Sour cream, dill, garlic. Really, really lovely stuff. Really nice and acidic. Nice and black peppery too. It has some onion powder. It's basically like a Russian ranch in its own way. And again, the vegetables are seasoned. They don't need any more salt. Salad is nice and green, nice and vegetal. And then we don't have to worry about the dressing being diluted because we salted everything in advance. Right? I love dill too. I'm Russian. I grew up with dill and everything. Dill is a fundamental Russian flavor. It is actually just all over the place. Get everything nicely coated. Let's get rid of this. Cerveza? It's not, no. I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Cerveza? No. This is just a little cucumber salad out of some sour cream and stuff, but actually, it might be quite close. Let's taste it. We're gonna taste it for seasoning now. Tasting it with a teaspoon, even though this is a salad, for no reason other than I just happen to really like teaspoons. It's really good. Has everything it needs. The dressing already had the acidity. The vegetables are already all seasoned. It is really, really refreshing. It's delicious. It's got all the scallions. It has the tomatoes, has the dill, and we got rid of the leftovers to go into it all. I might have slightly overstuffed this, but that's okay. I don't mind too much. Perfect. I don't know why I'm still using a teaspoon for this. It's actually very inefficient if you think about it. But we don't think about it. We don't need to do that. Okay. The dishwasher is currently full. I'm gonna save you guys the noise and set it on after the stream. Made this food thing yesterday with beer and cucumber. Whoa. I have no idea what that is. Beer and cucumber? That's the first time I've heard about that. And I've heard about a lot of things. Okay, that's all done. And this dill is gonna go into the stew. Okay? Great. Cleaning up my station as we go. Let's give everything in here a nice little stir. The squash is getting nice and tender in this cooking process. and we just want to reduce the liquid. We want to reduce the moisture, my friends. We want to get a nice concentrated, delicious meaty stew. Oof. And I guess we can also make the roux at the same time. I might do that in a different pot, in like a small little pot, and then just like add that in later on. I think that'll be a good step. The squash we added in now because it takes the longest to cook, and the vegetables are already ready to go. So let's head to the stove. Stock with the squash, the vegetables that will go in just a minute once this has boiled down. And we might make the roux, which is going to be the combination of the butter and the flour that is going to thicken the whole thing. And then we have the gravy, which is also going to continue to thicken it. And honestly, I'm considering maybe we don't thicken this at all. I mean, the gravy's not going to do that much for it. A part of me doesn't want to add any buttery flour in because I think the viscosity might be enough. It might be. I don't know though. Lovely. Oh, that smells and tastes pretty darn wonderful, I have to say. That stew already just filled with like the taste of the roasted turkey. Me too, that's right. Yeah, that really has like that roasted oomph. You're getting a lot of the really aromatic vegetables, or the aromatics, the herbs, is what I was trying to say. And the squash is gonna help like kind of sweeten everything up in addition to the vegetables that we're about to add too. So maybe, you know what guys? Maybe we don't do any additional thickening. We just do the flour-based gravy that we have that's gonna go inside, and then we'll thicken the whole thing with heavy cream at the end. We'll put in the heavy cream and we'll let it reduce. And I think that would be perfect. Yes, this is usually food for myself and my mother. It all works out. But yeah, in the meantime, we're just waiting for this to reduce. Heavy cream, look my name. Yeah, I can see that cream. I can see that. But yes, this is usually for myself and my mom, and we end up eating all of it. And again, what I really love about today's stream is we're getting rid of all of the Thanksgiving leftovers all in one fell swoop, okay? Because at the end, don't forget, we have this corn and peas that's gonna be thrown in as well. It's already fully cooked, so we don't have to cook it anymore. The vegetables are kind of done. In fact, I might add the veggies now because if I were to taste them, they're still somewhat firm. They still have some firmness to it, okay? And we don't want firm vegetables in a stew. We want it to get nice and soft. So I think there's a part of me that's like, yeah, we should scoop this out now and let this cook and reduce with everything else. So that's what we'll do. In the vegetables go. That's been cooked with the red wine, with the butter, with the olive oil, the carrots, the onions, the celery, and the scallions. Oh, this pot is quite full, isn't it? Yeah, this pot is really full. And we deglaze it with the red wine and the soy sauce, and it's going to be wonderful and change the hue of the whole operation, right? Get it nice and stained, and now we need to boil the hell out of this. This has to go down. That is way too much liquid in here. Is there anything else that we can do in the meantime? No, we're literally waiting for this to boil. And yes, my mom says the same exact thing. Yeah, it's quite validating. This did greatly reduce the temperature of whatever was in the pot, but this really does need to reduce. If I were to taste this, oh, that is wonderful. That is already really delicious. I am quite happy about that. Gotta get it back up to a boil. No, you're fine. Don't apologize, you're fine. Okay. Is there anything else that we can do in the meantime? I don't know. In a way, I kind of regret doing it in this pot because this pot might be a little too small. We did add the vegetables in, but once we add the corn and the peas and especially the chicken, I have a feeling that it's just gonna kind of all the way up, right? Especially the heavy cream. This has to boil down. We need to reduce this to make sure it all fits. That is overflowing, my friends, with goodness. The salad is already fully prepared. That's fully done. In a way, I regret not having more to do. Or maybe I just mistimed some stuff. Is there any more cleaning that I can possibly fit in? My dishwasher is full, so I don't actually think so, which is a bit of a tragedy. Oh, I'm gonna have so many dishes. I'm gonna have so many dishes. This sucks. I should have ran like the dishwasher before I did the stream. But alas, I made one silly mistake and I did not. I got too lazy to do it before the stream started. And now I will pay the consequences. I will pay the price. How to subscribe? There's a big old subscribe button that you can do. It bubbles a lot. Yes, it does, Cream. Okay. Chat, we keeping up? This is actually, you know what? Questions. Give me any cooking questions. Anything that you want. Okay. Do you recommend any cookbooks that teach the basics? Yes, there is one that I have in mind. I'm going to show it to you right now. Let's see if I can find it. Do I have it out here? I have one that I always recommend to people. Come on. Where is it? Where'd you go? Where is my favorite cookbook? I don't have a lot of ones that I like. This is one of the only ones that I enjoy. Ah, I found it. Okay. Everybody, you don't need a recipe book. I don't care what anybody tells you. You don't need a recipe book. Here's what you need. Bam. This is the Food Lab. This is J. Kenji Lopez Alt's book, The Food Lab. I like this. This is the one I really heavily recommend. If you're getting started, if you want to build a more technical understanding of things, there you go. I hope that helps. Okay. And that answers your question. Now let's keep scrolling up. Let's see. What is the difference? Let me see. First, how to tenderize beans. I've heard of it on Google. I don't know exactly what you're asking me. I don't know what that question is. I'm not sure what you mean by tenderized beans. What is the difference between herbs and aromatics from Robin? So, herbs can constitute as aromatics. Aromatics don't really specify anything other than like a general term for fundamental vegetables or little spices that you find a lot in a certain cuisine. For example, in Chinese cooking, you would have chilies, garlic, and ginger be your aromatics. In French cooking, carrots, onions, and celery. So they don't even have to be like that perfumey. They're just like fundamental flavors that you find in a lot of places that tend to perfume a dish. Spices can be aromatics, herbs can be aromatics, vegetables can be aromatics. It doesn't actually mean a lot. And herbs refers to tiny plants that smell a lot. Okay? Is turkey more ethically farmed than the chicken in the US? Probably not. Probably not. It is also probably like mass factory farmed. Okay? Can you recommend a decent chef's knife that doesn't break the bank? Okay, so most chef's knives you would be overpaying for the same grade of steel. You're gonna go ahead and get, this is my most redded opinion there is, you're gonna go ahead and get a Victorinox chef's knife. You're gonna pay 50 bucks for it, 40 bucks. The price went up by 2 times in the last 10 years. You're gonna buy a Victorinox, it's gonna be fine, you can fuck it up, you can use electric sharpeners on it, it'll just do the job. Can I say you're the girl version of Moist Critical? Yes, I posted a transition timeline on Twitter where I used Moist Critical's face and then mine, and it was so fucking funny. It was a really good tweet. You love your Victorinox? Well, there you go. It's not an amazing knife, but it is cheap. And it used to be priced a little bit more fairly. Now it's definitely way too expensive for what it actually is. Beautiful. This is going, this is boiling and evaporating away. Let's have a little sip of what it tastes like at the moment. Yeah, Victorinox. That's gonna be it. Hello, T. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Ooh, guys, that is delicious. You're getting the herbs, you're getting the roasted carcass, you're getting the turkey bones, the pork bones, all of it. And that is still before we add in the gravy. It's gonna have a lot of oomph. Yeah, I think you'll be set for a good bit. Let me show off, let me just take a second in that case. Let me show off some of the knives that I have, that I am proud to have in my knife collection. So let's do that. So, I'm gonna get this meat out of the way too. Put all that stuff behind me. Okay, so this is the latest addition to my collection. This is my Celery knife. This is my carbon steel Celery knife. This is maybe the most expensive knife that I own. It's really, really nice. For its size, it's a lot lighter than you think it is. I love this because you're able to get a very nice, comfortable grip. Like this, you're able to pinch it without worrying about cutting your finger. It's beautiful. I love the shape of the handle. It looks big, but it actually hits my hand perfectly. This is a knife that I think I can actually universally recommend to anybody. And I don't say that very lightly. I'm also gonna give it a little wash because I'm also just done with it for today. We don't need to chop anything else up. I love this thing. Wash it off, and we gotta make sure it's kept dry. This isn't stainless steel, it's carbon steel. If exposed to water and acid for too long, it will rust. So we wash it off in boiling hot water and then we wipe it off. J. Henkel's knives. I don't love Henkel's knives. Don't love the shape of them. Mercer. These are all European brands, but this is technically a Zwilling knife, right? This is the Celery Zwilling collaboration. It's pretty good. Do I like Damascus knives? I have one Damascus knife, but Damascus doesn't actually mean anything. In fact, the edge that it holds is inferior to that of a good carbon steel. So it's actually purely aesthetic value. Most knife guys will consider them a little bit tacky, is what they'll do. They'll be like, this is cringe, and it kind of is, So I don't love them, but I just happen to own a really good one. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Let me show you what else I have. One by one. So, this is my little paring knife. This is my little guy. Who is it from? Okay, this is a Suisun. Suisun? I don't actually pronounce that. It's really nice. This is what I do when I'm peeling things in my hand like a little potato. Right? Hold it in there really nice and comfortable. Get some work done. Next, this is a knife I got as a gift that I absolutely hate. This is a Shen Classic. Shen knives, their steel is way too hard. You can even hear it. Listen. They're way too hard. They chip way too easily. It is comfortable to hold, but I also don't like Santoku's. I got this as a gift and I'm never gonna use it. I hate it. I'm gonna try to sell it. Or maybe sign it and give it to a fan. This is my Korean Damascus petty knife. It is beautiful and I use this for everything. It is just dull at the moment and I'm gonna get it professionally sharpened soon. I love this thing. I love it. This is for small prep. This is for scallions. This is for garlic. This is for anything small that I need to slice up. This is a really cool knife that I want to get restored. This is a knife that my grandfather made in the USSR. He made this out of an abandoned sawmill blade. It's carbon steel, hence why it's so rusted. I want to crack it open. I want to get rid of the rust that's in the handle, and I want to get it sharpened. This is a knife that he made himself that I keep in here for sentimental value. And I would love to be able to transform this into something new and find somebody who is qualified to do that for me. Maybe find like a knife maker in Brooklyn that would be willing to do this. Okay? And the handle on it, the handle is really beautiful. This thing is basically 70, 60 years old. It's an ancient piece. I miss him dearly. I did love that guy. Not a lot of family I can say that about. Next, this is my Mizuno UX10. This was my main knife before I got the Celery knife. This is called a Gyuto, and it has a Western style handle. This is a very, very nice knife. You'd hold it like this. It's nice and long, so you get nice long slices on things. Okay? It's a beautiful knife. This was also really quite expensive. And then, this is my fish knife that I never really get to do because I don't really do fish at home. But the beauty of this Mac knife, it's a very nice fish knife. The way that it bends. You see that? No force at all. It just bends this easily. This is for fish. This is if you're like deskinning some fish, if you're filleting it, you need a knife that is this flexible. And this is really flexible. And then I'm gonna tuck this bad boy away because I washed him off, I dried him off. I'm gonna make sure that he's fully dried off and we don't need to slice anything else up. And that is my knife collection. I hate this knife minimalism that's been happening in the cooking content sphere. You only need 3 knives. Yeah, well, to get a lot of basic stuff done, but in cooking, there's a lot of odd-sized things that you have to slice. And for me, a lot of the fun of the job is to get really, really cool things that can be specialized for the task. I don't have any cleavers. I would like a cleaver, but I don't know what I'd use it for, because I just feel like my chef's knife does the job. Getting some more water in me, because I'm a little dehydrated. So guys, thank you for listening to me. You got butcher gear? Well, I don't actually have a boning knife. I do want a boning knife. I think that'd be nice to have. Let's head to the stove again. I hope that was informative and you guys enjoyed that. Okay. Well, a cleaver isn't really for butchering. A cleaver, while it can like hack through bone, it doesn't really do a lot of the fine and delicate work that you're thinking of. That you need a boning knife, and I really do recommend boning knife. Yes, I did, for Mr. Hexurak, the one and only. He has donated a lot of subs. If anybody else would like to match that, I implore you to. Guys, look at the emotes. If anybody wants to sub, you should do it. Okay. So, let's take a look. The squash is getting nice and tender, the vegetables are cooking down, and the stock is reducing. So we're concentrating all of that flavor. We're getting rid of any excess moisture that does not belong. Okay? We're going to cook this for maybe another 10 minutes like this. Keep it boiling. Nice, high, aggressive heat. We need to make space for everything else that's going in. Cleaver can be used for smashing and scooping. Yes, it can. You can use the front edge of it to scoop and stuff, but honestly, it's nothing that my bench scraper and chef's knife can't do. I've just never felt the need for it. In my home kitchen, at least, for my home setup, and the kinds of knives that I enjoy having. I'm gonna quickly actually wash off my vegetable peeler. Guys, have a good peeler. Have a nice cheap one, have a carbon steel one, throw it away every few months and get a new one. This will save your life. Get a V-neck. I don't like the side peelers. I like the V-necks because they let me hold it like this and just go down. Okay? That's my ideal shape. All right, that's my professional advice for you at the moment. Get a V-neck peeler, you will never be the same. Just gonna move this around. I'm gonna just put some more stuff away into my knife roll again. And I keep all of this on me so nobody else touches it. And I get to take it with me if I ever wanna go cook for somebody. I just get to take all my knives, have all my equipment, and I'm ready to go. That's why a knife roll is really nice. It'd be nice for me to get in the future 2 completely different sets of knives, one of which I would be traveling with and the other would be like my home set. But that is a very stupid expense to be taking on at the moment because that's not money that I have to fuck around with. But it would be fun to do that in the future. My travel knives and my home knives. Ah, the dream. But at the moment, it's so that nobody touches with my stuff. Nobody messes my stuff. Okay. Thank you everybody for your patience thus far. Again, we're at the final end of this. We just want to finish reducing this stock down until it's at a flavor that we deem fit. Okay? Let's taste it. Let's taste it. Let's see how it's treating us. Oh, guys, that is so meaty. That is so rich. Even before we added everything else to it, it's pretty wonderful. That is delicious. Okay, we're gonna cook this for 3 more minutes, and then we'll do the other components, my friends. Okay? This order of operations is gonna be the gravy. In fact, we could probably, let's do the gravy now. Let's have the gravy now. I like where this is at. And I'm gonna see how much does this actually thicken. I know it's a little bit unsightly, but I promise you it's all gonna dissolve. and we're gonna mix it in. We're gonna melt it in, we're gonna mix it in. It's gonna help thicken it, and we're gonna get more meaty flavor out of it this way. Okay? This is the turkey stock that we made ourselves. This isn't a boxed, by any means, this is not some boxed shitty broth. This is a turkey stock that we made ourselves and beautifully thickened. This was all of the turkey bones condensed into this, full of flavor, okay? We're just gonna dissolve it, and we're gonna see how much it thickens and how much it changes the taste. No roux then, no roux, yep. We're not doing it. I've decided against it because it's gonna have heavy cream and that's gonna thicken it. And I think this will be enough. I think it'll be enough. And if not, then it's not enough. If it's too loose, it'll be too loose. That's what I'm thinking. We'll just let it be what it wants to be. We're gonna stir it around. We're gonna make sure that it's all mixed in, and we're gonna keep it boiling. Okay? Make sure it's all melted in, my friends. Okay. And it was cold, so it did drop the temperature of that slightly. And we'll get it back up again. Oh, I'm excited. I'm really excited for this today. We'll activate it, we'll see how much it thickens, and then we'll make some decisions. Okay? And you can already see with the way that the bubbles are breaking that we have increased the viscosity. We have made it a little bit thicker in the process. It'll be good. Also, by the way, I do want to say, I don't like shilling. I don't normally like doing this. However, if you go to my Throne page, I think I have it linked on the Twitch About section. It's a very big investment. I'm trying to buy like an $800 camera. Or if anybody wants to donate to it. I want to upgrade the stove shot. You see how it's 30 FPS? It's not ideal. And this webcam also has some auto exposure and some white balancing issues. I'd really, really love to upgrade the quality of this cooking stream. You can buy directly on my Throne page or even just the capture card for it. A little bit goes a long way if anybody also just wants to donate to that as well. You don't have to. Normally I hate doing stuff like this on the stream itself, but I think it would really elevate the production quality because I want to create the best possible product that I can at home. This is a one-man operation. It's me doing this, right? And I would like to bring you guys something special. So if you can and are willing, it's a lot to ask for. I just wanted to plug it. Even if it is a little bit unreasonable to ask for that. I appreciate you guys being with me for that. All right, I think the gravy has dissolved. Thank you for understanding. I want to make this the best cooking show on Twitch. I want to make this the best produced cooking show on Twitch. I want to make this thing look beautiful. Oh, guys, that is so good. Oh, that is wonderful. That is so full of flavor. We're going to do a big hit of salt. And we're going to let that boil for 3 minutes exactly. Chat, we doing good? We keeping up? If you're keeping up, I want to hear a yes, chef. If there's no chef, you got to tell me right now. Big pinch of salt. We're going to fully season this thing through. We're going to keep it boiling. Yes, chef, that's what I want to hear. I do have a vision. That I do have. You missed the knife demo? Oh, I'm sorry, Zio. That's going to happen another time. I'm not going to repeat that today. I apologize. That's okay, though. I appreciate you being here nonetheless. Okay. Yeah, okay. We're not going to get anything like too thick and starchy. We're just going to get like a really nice stew out of this. But it's not going to be anything crazy. We'll do the heavy cream in there, and we'll see how much that can thicken it once we reduce that. You watch the VODs anyway? By the way, we have the YouTube VODs uploading now. So the YouTube VODs, I'm catching up with all of them. That's happening on my YouTube channel. Or at Dollar VODs, or Daramgar VODs, wherever you find it. Have you watched this movie called Burnt? I have not. I don't know what that is. I just moisturize my hands really quickly. And I'm putting some gloves back on. A couple more minutes of this aggressive boiling. And it is starting to splash a little bit because of the fact that we upped the viscosity. That we added the gravy in. We're just going to stir it up. Make sure nothing is squelching on the bottom especially. And the squash got really tender in this process. Delicious. 1 more minute of cooking, and then we'll do the meat. We'll throw that in. I don't have an exclamation like YouTube. Just go to my Twitch About section. Go to my Twitch About section, and then I'm still uploading the backlog of all the VODs, but that's currently going. That's almost done. We're gonna finish it with the heavy cream. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be wonderful. Oh man, I really hope this pot can fit it all. And the meat, we don't really have to cook more, we're just more so reheating it at this point. Okay? And the corn and peas and dill will all go in last. So, meat time. Remember, all of that meat that is that a tendon? Oh no, goodbye. All of this meat that we so diligently shredded up ourselves, deboned, all of it's going in now. This pot is getting really full. Yes, I am a little bit nervous. Yes, it'll be fine. Oh my God, that's a lot of meat. This really is a turkey stew. Look at that. Perfect. That's a stew and a half. And now we go in with the heavy cream. And the heavy cream is gonna help thicken it all once we cook it down. No, not vlog channel, VOD channel. So all of this going in, we gotta cook it all, okay? We might add a little bit of sodium citrate just to make sure it stays together so that it doesn't split. We're gonna cook it down and it's gonna thicken up naturally. A little bit of sodium citrate goes a long way in stuff like this. And we're gonna hit it with a bunch of fresh black pepper as well. So just in case the fat starts pooling away and separating from it all, that's what the sodium citrate's job is. You can see how it's not like fully incorporated? That's just gonna tighten the whole thing back up. No, unfortunately, I guess I have, you know what? I have a little bit of rye bread. We'll do a bowl with the rye bread. How's that sound? I think that'll be tasty. I wasn't expecting to use the sodium citrate today, but I think it'll be really nice at the end of the day in getting the product that we want, the kind of stew texture that we want. Sodium citrate is an emulsifying salt. It's slightly cheating, but it's just gonna give us a better product. We're just gonna do 1 little spoon of that, and hopefully it tightens the whole texture up. Not thicker, but just stops it from, whatchamacallit, from splitting too much. A little spoon of that, perfect. And we'll mix it all in. Mix it through. Dissolve it all. Ooh, this is a full pot, my friends. Good Lord. Look at that stew. Let's get this back up to a boil. Oh. That looks actually pretty wonderful, I must say. Let's taste it. And again, we're still gonna wait for the cream to cook. Oh, that is so good. Guys, that is delicious. That is pretty wonderful stuff. Wow, okay. Keep mixing it. We might add more sodium citrate just to make sure that the fat gets all blended in, but that is really delicious. That is really special. It might not look it, but let me tell you, it has so much depth of flavor. It has so much meatiness. Okay, it is pretty incredible. Let's get working on the bread. Hello, crew. Hope you're having a good day today. That stew is going. The heavy cream is in there. We're just waiting for all of this to cook now. To cook, to thicken up. Let it do its thing. And we're heating all the meat back up through. So, let's slice some bread. I have this Russian rye bread in the fridge at the moment. I'm just gonna do 1 slice of it for myself. Come on, out you go. And these are always funny because they're always kind of thick. They've got like a little ass on it. All right. That's going, that's boiling. We're gonna give that a minute or two. I'm gonna cut myself off a nice big slice. And I guess in the meantime, we could also think about the plating for it all. Ooh. Nice big slice of that for today's lovely little meal. Food looks good. Thank you. I'm very excited about it. That's gonna go into the toaster oven. I'm gonna throw that in. I love rye bread. Russian rye bread is a completely different product to what Americans are used to when they think of rye bread. You think of like, you know, I guess like Jewish deli sandwiches. The texture of that is just completely different. The taste of it too. Lovely. That does look really, really good. Holy shit, that is so much stew. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that. How tough is it? What do you mean, the bread? Or what are you asking me? I'm gonna throw that back into the fridge. Let's keep it nice and fresh. And currently the stew is boiling away. We're increasing the viscosity by cooking down the heavy cream. It's something that people forget to do. They just add cream to finish things. You have to cook it. Not overcook it so it doesn't split, but you have to cook it to get the product. Okay, let's think about plating for a second. This didn't need any washing, it was just some bread, so I just brushed it all off. Oh, hello buddy. Chill out. It is starting to boil over the edge, which actually kind of sucks. But we'll live. This is why I should have done a bigger pot, or reduce the stock more or something. But it is getting nice and thick through this boiling process. Nice. We'll do a bunch of black pepper in here too. Guys, I have no idea how this is gonna fit the corn and the peas. Stop, chill out. Stop boiling so hard. I'm begging you. I don't want it to overflow again. A bunch of black pepper. A bunch of salt. And we'll just mix all of that nicely in. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. That is a beautiful stew texture. And you can see it getting slightly thicker as this goes on. Okay? Excellent. The bread is slightly tough. It's got like a really good chew to it. Okay, plating. Will I be able to fit this? Yes, I will. Over here is gonna go the bread. Over here is gonna go the soup. And then I'm gonna get the salad in here as well at the same time. While this is going. Just checking the look, making sure it's not overflowing. We're in the final stages, everybody. We just have to finish cooking. All right, some of the salad. I don't need any more than that. That salad is wonderful. I'm really happy about that. You guys excited? I'm excited. Let's get this on its own little plate as well, just to make sure it has a coaster. Okay. Great. How is this cooking? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is a bowl of stew if I've ever seen one. A big old pot, rather. Okay. Let's give it a taste. Let's see if it needs anything, because that looks really good to me. Let's taste that. Seasoning is on point. That's exactly what it needs to be seasoning-wise. Okay? And now final steps. Corn and peas. I'm gonna shut off the heat because it's gonna overflow. No, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna go in now. Corn and peas, I wanna get rid of you. You're going in. Oh shit, that is getting full again. Let's make sure this doesn't fall in. Get a nice grip on this. This is really bad form. I'm sorry to show it to you guys like this. I really should not have filled this up so much. But it's okay. And then the dill. Half of it, or most of it rather, and some of it is going to be garnish. And again, the corn and peas are already cooked, so it doesn't need to boil more or anything. Oh, now that's a stew. That is a stew. Okay? Let's go ahead and get that bread out of the toaster. That is toasted sufficiently to my taste. Wait, was the toaster unplugged this whole time? The toaster was unplugged. The timer was going, but it was unplugged. It's cold. It's fine. It's untoasted. We'll live. We will live. All right, everybody still following? We got one last thing to do. We're going to plate this. That's all that we have left. Oh, and get some of that gorgeous broth. Fuck you on toasty bread. Okay? Man, you can still see it like bubbling away. That is so hot. And now, some more dough on top. Just to make it really pretty. Perfect. I'm really happy with this. How am I going to put this together? So much dill, yes, but that's okay. You know what? I'm going to take this off the plate for when we talk about it. How's that look? That is a whole meal. How do I make this look nicer? There you go. I think that looks nice. What do you guys think? It's a good clip? Everybody, we have done the job. We have accomplished today's mission. We have gotten rid of all of my Thanksgiving leftovers and made this beautiful stew and this beautiful salad out of all of it. Let's talk about what we have. We had an entire turkey carcass, a bunch of bones, and some pork bones that we went ahead and we boiled down. We made a beautiful stock out of some herbs and some vegetables as well. We had carrots, onions, celery, scallions. We sauteed all of it in butter and olive oil. We reduced some red wine and soy sauce, and then it went into all of that beautiful stock. We had some squash, some kaboka squash that went in there as well. We took all of the meat, we shredded it up, we threw it in there. We had the leftover gravy, corns, and peas, and it all went into the stew, finished with some heavy cream and plenty of fresh dill at the end as well. It's filled with vegetables, it's delicious. We have a little bit of rye bread with it. In addition, we have a nice little salad. The salad has a sour cream kefir dressing. It's cucumbers, it's tomatoes, it's dill, it has garlic. It is wonderful stuff. It's really, really delicious. And it's all come together. We've done it. We've gotten rid of all of my Thanksgiving leftovers in one big stew. It's really, really delicious. And now, I think we can eat. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream. We're gonna eat, and then we'll sign off. If anybody has any final questions, anything they want to say to me, ask me now. Always eating stew or soups on stream is challenging because I have to like... Oh, it's so nice to get a full spoonful of that now. Guys, that is so good. That is so comforting. This is home cooking at its finest. This is what it's supposed to be. Awesome. Time. This is what cooking is supposed to be about. This is what cooking at home is supposed to be about. We didn't waste anything. We got rid of all the stuff in the fridge, and we made a really delicious meal out of it. Time and just understanding ingredients. The salad is awesome. This is what home cooking should be. It's not about cooking steaks. It's not about doing all these fancy things. It's about looking at what you have and making the most out of it and making something special out of it that can either reheat well or it can be transformed into something else well. So yesterday, we took food that wasn't able to reheat well, the roasted turkey and all the vegetables and everything, and we made it into something that reheats well. We made it into this lovely little stew. So basically, I don't make any leftovers that I can't either reheat or that I can't make something else out of. Okay? Guys, that is good. That is really good. And we take some rye bread and we dip it in, we soak it in. Really soak it in. I'm glad you won. I made plenty. Come have some. The squash. Nice and tender. Nice and sweet. The leg meat is the best. That is my favorite texture. That's really good. This is comforting. Man, I want to sit so badly, but if I sit, you guys aren't going to be able to see me all that well. This salad is so nice. Thank you. Well, I don't know. This is just the Daramgar live stream. It's not a show. All right? Well, it is a show in its own way. Man, I want to sit my ass down. I'm going to stay strong for all of you. Look how silly it's going to be if I take a seat for y'all. You know what? Or I might just end the stream and then eat off camera. I might just do that instead. Look. It's not very professional of me, is it? I haven't done this. Enjoy the meal. Yeah. Okay. Man, my legs are tired. Here's what we're going to do. This is the final leg of the cooking stream. Everybody, final comments, questions, concerns. Let me know right now. Anything that you want to ask me, anything that you want to tell me. Next stream is going to be Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay? Don't forget it. Do not forget it. Let's see who's streaming. Nobody that I want to grade. I've been grading girls all the time, so maybe not. Maybe, you know what? Let's go into the food and drink category. Yeah, okay, that's what we'll do. We'll go into food and drink, and we'll see who is live. And then we'll grade them. How's that sound? Highest to lowest. Let's see who looks interesting right now. That is currently live. I'm seeing a guy cook in just nothing but shorts and no shirt on. Girls are streaming, I just want to go ahead and grade a cooking streamer. I think that would be fun for us to do. Birthday Black Friday bash. We have somebody making a seafood potato casserole. So we're going to go ahead and grade them. Okay, everybody, I hope you've all enjoyed the stream today. I hope you all stick around for the next one. It's going to be Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay? I'm going to see you all then. I appreciate all of you for being here. It's always a joy. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, consider the throne thing for the camera. I'd really, really appreciate the new camera. I think it'd help so much with the quality of what I'm trying to do. Everybody take care. Hope you all have a beautiful rest of your Friday.